Welcome back, everyone. The cat's asleep every single time. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Hey, there we go. Now we're talking. Right. Back to the main screen. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today, we're going to look at a bunch of stuff, but let's properly start the show. Welcome back, everybody. It is 8 o'clock on the 7th of August. That would be a Thursday, so thank you all for joining. Today we're going to be taking a look at a whole bunch of WAN related things. So if you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget there is a Discord link in the description. Hello, you beautiful people. Let me just see who's here. We got quite a crowd. So hello, Apolloni Art. Hello, Zeus194. Hello, Fernicar. Battlecruiser Operational, liked and subscribed. Hello, Gerard. Hello, what's that? Netizens Engage, indeed. All hail the algorithm. Full Dive Media, hello, I am great, and I hope everybody's doing great today. Zeus, water is ready, coffee is ready, indeed. And do you know what? I was here like 20 minutes ago, and then I ran because I realised still no coffee, so we got that sorted out now. Let's see, what else have we got? Full Dive. No, I've already said that. I've already read that out. Zeus is giving me the... Let me see, what do they call it? They call it the elbow. And Fernicar, is that a cult for cyber society? Well, do you know what, guys? This is huge. This is the hugest, most huge thing which we've figured out for a while, actually. And the joke is, all the DNA, everything you need for this it's already there. I already gave everything out, so... Gerard says, working on reviving some old media right now, but had to drop by. Love to all the pizza chefs out there. That is so poignant. I love it. So thank you for that, my guy. And thank you for the super chat. Like I say, we don't get many super chats around here, so thank you very much. But yeah, I totally agree. To be honest, I'm going to show you what we're doing right now. This is a prompt for On Fire, which is my LoRA of fire, burning wood. And I trained it for Flux, and I trained it for SDXL, and I trained it for SD 2.1. But here's the thing, we're not loading the LoRA, we're just using the prompt. And if you see, in all of these grids, top left, that's just what you get from using the prompt on its own. Yeah? So top left, that's what you get for the prompt. Of probably like a pile of logs burning fire in a wood, right? Top right is what you get if you put my Cyber Society trigger with the LoRA loaded. So you know how traditionally we would say the trigger for a LoRA, right, at the beginning of the prompt to make sure it works. So you do trigger style or trigger woman or trigger pile of wood, yeah, whatever it is. Trigger fire, yeah. And I've gone beyond prompt lists. Where we're going, we won't need prompt lists, guys, because this is like a whole new, because the thing is, it's become so accessible and so easy that now we've taken the concept of the prompt enhancer, which we've used before to generate video and image prompts, right? Everyone's familiar with the prompt enhancer, okay? But what this does is it creates a prompt enhancer just for that LoRA. So then when you have that prompt, that system prompt running, it turns anything into that heavily stylized. And of course you can control the strength with LoRA load strength, okay? So it's easy to have a scale of control. But I'm showing you at 0.75 with 2 LoRAs loaded right here. So again, just to go over it, left and right is LoRA on, LoRA off. LoRA on is on the right, LoRA off is on the left. Top and bottom, the top is a smooth prompt, you know, cat in a red hat. You know what I mean? There's not much to it, is there? Bottom row is the result of the custom enhancer, and the goal is to make everything look like cyber society, and we've achieved that by training WAN 2.2 14B T2V low noise model, but we're doing it by training a 2.1 LoRA and then running it in 2.2 for image generation. We're also running at 1536 by 1536, so it gives you a 50% buff in detail over Flux. No need to upscale, it's already 1080p. And that was done with a trick as well. We've discovered a way of forcing the resolution so we don't train at 480p, we train at 1000 or a 1 megapixel, so it matches the input. You can also train at 2K if you have bigger images, but it takes longer, and it's debatable whether it actually makes it better. But I think it's worth doing. There's a little bit of a trickery going on there. Now, obviously, you can fine-tune your prompt enhancer by just dropping it into a GPT or a Claude or a Gemini and saying, I want this, I want that. So, it goes like this. We've done lots of tutorials in the past. Wow, look at that. So let's just take this as an example real quick, okay? And then we'll just continue the discussion, okay? Because this is super cool. So I'm calling this the ENH, which is a file, okay, which contains a system prompt. It's just a text file, and the system prompt has been tuned for the LoRA. So the idea is I'll be giving that out with my LoRAs in future. And so that way, you slap that into an Ollama or a chat if you don't have Ollama. So as you can see, we have the Ollama generate v2, and then I will give you this bit. Okay, and it's trained on the captions. So when I take a WAN video or a WAN image tuned system prompt, and then I present it with the caption set for the LoRA I want this to accompany. And then what it means, I can still give out the caption lists, and you can still use the prompt randomizers like we used to, but this is so much more dynamic, okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to invoke all of the elements that would be strong in the LoRA train, and then it's going to put together its best, all right? And it's so cool how it does it. You can even see the LoRA being applied, which is really quite nice. But the point is, here we have, oh, look at this. Wait, what? No, that's not what that is. I need to get a thing to say what it actually is that's going in there. Those aren't correct. Is it nearly finished? Let me just see what the state is. Yeah, it's in the middle of doing a new one. So we have a woman on a skateboard. Okay. So, it'll be interesting to see what it does with that. But the enhanced prompt is, a lone cyber samurai stands atop a sleek, mechanized skateboard, gliding across a sprawling dystopian metropolis at dusk under a gradient sky of deep blues and fiery oranges, streaked with twin moons. Her advanced exoskeleton armor pulses with glowing circuitry as she maintains a dynamic forward leap, with arms outstretched towards the horizon, revealing towering industrial spires, floating mechanical platforms, sprawling data conduits stretching into the distance. The skateboard's metallic frame reflects the dramatic lighting from the alien atmosphere's processors, while I think you get the point. It's turned it into a society-style prompt for me, right? What that probably was woman on a skateboard, okay? Woman on a skateboard. Now, I'll admit, sometimes it's too strong. So, this was a good one. It shows all of the hallmarks of the style, but it is also the main image. We should get this image any second now. So yeah, that's not quite how that works, but hey, it tried its best. It's made the character in the style, it's made the city, it's got the skateboard. Like I said, you turn it down, but now there are a few things that I've done to customize by prompt already. I've done it so that I want to have a bias towards establishing shots, okay, with like less of a close-up composition. So that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to make these sort of scenes, okay, these sorts of scenes. And also, WAN had a habit of trying to put AKs and machine guns in everyone's hands. So I did say there's special rules in there that I've added. Say, oh, I don't want any guns in the generations unless specifically requested. So unless you actually prompt it, it shouldn't appear, you know. So you can do all kinds of things like that. And the way I would do it is conversationally. So if I take a look at this here, so I could say we can alter this image prompt because it was set up for video before this point. So there's, you know, I've got another version of it right here, which is the same thing, but this one's for video. All right, so we might be using this one in a little bit, because then it's like I don't need to, you know, I can just put it straight in. Now, there's a vision component to this. You could use Quen rather than Polaris or some other model, something with vision capability. And so yeah, so that's basically where we're at. Anyway, if I go back to comfy, let's take a look at this. So if we take this image here as the example, it's going to update in a second, so I'll try and be as quick as I can. This top left image is the base output, no LoRA. This one is when you use my enhancer on that image. So it's nice. It's like generic AI, generic good AI image. You know what I mean? It's like there's no LoRA there. It's just the prompt. Okay, or that's been enhanced, I guess. When you load my LoRA and you use my trigger word in front of your prompt, you get something like this, which is what I usually show people, because usually this is like how people will use it. They'll put the trigger somewhere in the prompt, and so you get, you know, a Cyber Society style version of this corridor. Oh, now it's changed as well. But I think it's still the same. It's the same exact thing. It doesn't matter. It's a shame that it lost. It's a shame. But then again, it's because of that, isn't it? It's my LoRA that did it. You can actually see it. Again, if we look at the relationships here, check it out. So with the basic prompt, we get a girl on a skateboard, and she's got her arms up like this. You see what I mean? So that's what we're getting from the base model. And then when we apply my LoRA trigger, okay, it's not really strong enough, because there's nothing like that in Cyber Society. There is no girl on skateboard in my LoRA, so it's like a bit of a weakness, I guess you could say. But the reason is because all the terms are wrong, you know. So you get woman on a skateboard, and it has changed. It's like it's the face of the girl from the LoRA. The clothing has got the same shading style and stuff. It's kind of changed into the same sort of art style that's used in Cyber Society, but it doesn't match at all. Now, when we take the enhanced prompt, it's taking this girl in this setting, and then it's changing it, and then you get this without the LoRA loaded, yeah? No LoRA loaded, okay? And so then, of course, we apply the LoRA, and we get that. So it's like, it's somewhere between the two, so we end up going from here diagonally to the bottom right, you see what I mean? So it's like, this is what you get, top right is what you get when you just put the trigger in front of the prompt. You see what I mean? It doesn't really take, yeah? But with the enhancer system, it takes. It takes. Now, does it change the image? Yes, but when you look at it, it's because really it's got more in common with the one on the left. And like what I'm saying is you can see how certain elements get chosen and used and which ones get refined by the model. It's almost all like in the same place. Like there's a spire here that became this building. There's a spire here that became this building with a platform on it. Spire here, you know what I mean? It's like everything's lining up. But what's interesting is this is kind of like on a side profile, and this one is head on, and it decided to use that one, and then kind of it's a very futuristic skateboard. Maybe they go faster. Oh, the next one's going to be cool. Another thing to note about these images is they are full HD, so you can like zoom all the way in. They still look good. Like we've gone that's quite a good zoom there. So that would be the result of putting the trigger in front of the prompt. Like you can see on the workflow here, all I've done is prepend the basic prompt with the trigger. And then we look at the LoRA stack. I'm using Lightning, Fusion X, and then we're putting sandwich of my style model and my character model together. So we put the two together, run them at 0.75 each. Seems to work really nice. Obviously, you could turn that up or down. You could turn them down to 0.5. You could turn it, you know what I mean? So you've got like a control on the blending for the style, basically. So let's see what it did with this. Is that really what happened to that? Wow, that's a little bit of a bad one, I think, maybe. It turned this. This is actually pretty cool. I kind of like how there's like a sun and there's just like a drive-through. Just got like a drive-through, hotels, you know. God knows what's going on here. But anyway, cool. But somehow that became that. So yeah, you might want to turn it down a bit. Although this is a really good image. For Cyber Society, this is a cracking image. It's got absolutely nothing to do with that though. I wonder, are they even related? What's happened? God knows. It's doing something. Oh, okay. It looks like this. That's what you get from the default. That's what you get from the model, see? But enhanced. Enhanced. That's what you get from the model enhanced with no LoRA. Because it's the same exact setup here. You've got no LoRA on the left, LoRA on the right. But for some reason I'm silly and I put it the other way around, so the enhanced is actually the top row. And the basic is the bottom row. But it's like, you know, wait. Because what I'm doing is I'm just putting in Zenkai Desu, which is like their old captions. Do you know what? I should probably just show. Can I get a preview? Just so that we can see what it's doing. I'll have to like. It's misleading because the text boxes show what was in there once, you know, the last time you unhooked it. So, you know, this prompt is like something else I've been messing with at some point. Here we go. So that's what it wanted to make. So whatever the prompt was, it was going to make that. That's what it actually wanted to make from the prompt originally, you know. Whatever the prompt was, it was originally this. And then with my enhancer, turns into this Cyber Society enhancer. You know, it's trying to make everything Cyber Society. It did a pretty good job. Completely changed the image. So like I said, you can turn that down. But the thing I'm trying to say is, though, you're guaranteeing Cyber Society style output. No matter what. Kind of at what cost, I guess you could say. But... you know, you can always muck about with it, because that's what I'm trying to encourage, is the idea to take the template and muck about with it. So funny. See, I think in this situation, actually, just putting the trigger in front probably made a more Cyber Society style version of the original image, but then the enhancer is what changed it so much. You see what I mean? So you'd think, oh, we went from this to this, and that's not really the case. We went from top left to top right, and that's what we usually get. So normally we get the ability to turn our LoRA on and get this, top right. But because of the enhancer, it puts it into the realm that the LoRA is good at, which sometimes isn't what you prompted. So yeah, maybe we can work on that. Ultimately, it made a Cyber Society version of this. So you have a person, you have a tower, you have a planet. So here we go. Person, tower, planet. Because in Cyber Society, the towers often are floating like this. It's nice to get a little bit of stuff down here, though. It's a kind of cool image, to be honest. And also, obviously, you guys know, I'm never bothered about, like, moons and planets, because we just scrub them out. It takes seconds to scrub things out. So like, for example, this image is very cool, but it's a little bit weird with the planets and stuff. You just go click delete, click delete, click delete, pop, scrub it out. You know, it won't, if you wanted to finish that one off, it wouldn't even be a problem. What's that? Who do I invoice Comfy UI to support Drift? You guys are too kind. Like I say, I enjoy this. This is my fun. This is my fun time. But yeah, let me see. Oh, we're doing another corridor. I love it when Cyber Society does corridors. Here we go. Wow. Wow. I want to walk down there. Do you know what? This actually looks a little bit bigger than maybe I thought. I mean, what if this is actually like a house? What if that's actually like a large house and that's a small building? And we just totally underestimated the scale here, you know what I mean? What if this is like a town? You know what I mean? With factories and big halls and hangars and stuff. And it's like, we've just totally got the scale wrong here. Like, you think, oh, it's a train track. You know? And I'm just playing. There are things that break the scale, like there's some leaves. Could be a tree. But yeah. Oh, So yeah, that's just the default version with the style in front. So ooh, look at that. That's what it did when you add in the super strong I make this, you know what I mean? So it's like the enhancer is so strong, it's just going to make it work. Dennis, welcome. Thank you for joining. Fernicar says, that's new for me, corridors and cyber society. Yeah, the fun thing is, we're going to, like I say, I've been putting in some randomized prompts and doing some all kinds of weird, like, it's much better than what we've been doing, because you don't need to give out a prompt list. You can just give them the system prompt, and then they can type whatever they want in, and it will just make it to the best of its ability. So Dennis says, that is something I wondered how to get control of. Very smart idea, Johnson. Great results so far. Thank you so much. And you know what, guys? I'm kind of cheating you at the minute with actually showing you it coming out live. I've got so many results because we've done a lot of research to make sure this is like robust. So let's go over how this works, because you only really need one of these. What I'm comparing is LoRA on the right, LoRA off on the left, and then the enhancer is the top row. And for some reason I switched it around, so in all of these charts the bottom row is enhanced, and this is what you should get from my LoRA. This kind of stuff. See, it's even consistent, right? It's we've achieved amazing consistency and coherence with this. I'll admit, sometimes he doesn't listen to you, but you can tune your system prompt to listen to you more. You know what I mean? The blending amount. That's like the big thing we're trying to crack, or I'm trying to crack, is get that blending amount. Because I think there's a number of ways you can achieve it, but let's just go over what we're actually using here so we're all on the same page. We're on WAN 2.22 T2V A14B low noise Q8 GGUF. So yes, if you don't have a big system, you could use a Q4 or a Q3M, and Q4KM I know is recommended. A lot of people are using this because it's image generation, remember, so the specs are a little bit lower than you might have needed for video generation. Okay, I mean, I know it's just, you know, we generate one frame, you see what I mean? That's how come we can get away with doing much higher res, I believe. So then we have the UMT XXL. You could use the GGUF here as well. I just happen to be using that one. It's the WAN 2.1 VAE, even though it's the 2.2 text-to-video model that we're using. It's actually the 2.1 VAE. Got my project name, got my seed in there. Don't worry about the distributor, I'm not using that. So then, really, it's just this repeated 4 times with different LoRA setups or a different prompt coming into the clip. So you will have all seen this. So we're using WAN video nag at 5. That's the only change that was made there. If you want more artistic results, you can push the shift up to 3. They recommend 1 and 2 for photorealism, so I'm kind of leaving it there for now. I think it helps. Well, everything's worth playing with, right? Also, I've updated my aspect size V2, so it's based WAN 22 is 1536 by 1536. For images, I'm using 64, but for video, I'll change that to 32. Okay, just to get the correct numbers when you want to choose different aspect ratios. I do think it favors TV. You know, 480p, 720p, 1080p. It favors those aspect ratios, and it does seem to stretch when you do vertical, for images at least. You know, you get a bit of elongated legs and stuff. So we're going to be using the default. I have never changed this. It came with this negative prompt. I've never changed it. It's fine. The only thing I didn't say about the LoRAs, 1.0 on the Lightning. Now there is a 2.2 out. I haven't put it in yet. I haven't tested it. I'm using Fusion X on 0.4. Some people reported better quality at the expense of speed by turning that off, which would make sense, considering it's got caused vid, act vid, and a whole bunch of other things packed into it. For the LoRA, I've just put it in the middle at 0.75. I found 0.75 was a nice balance between what the model wants to do and what the base wants to do. Obviously, you could put that up to 1 to make it like strict, or you could come down to 0.5 to make it a bit looser. You know, just like normal. Little bit of a note though, these were trained by me in my image data sets. CyberSocietyv77 I think is 200 images, so I did 4,000 steps. So I'm using a times 20. So if you have 200 images times 20, 4,000 steps. That's what I'm doing. Now, if you can see here, it says 1428. These were trained, look, these are 2K images. So the actual data set, which is right here. Oh, sorry, it's not. It's 1216 by 896. I was getting confused with Chirona. Chirona is 2K, CyberSociety is 1K. So I trained it on both resolutions, and I found that 945 was best. If you don't know what I mean, when you go onto the Ostris WAN LoRA trainer in the config, you will see under advanced, there is a resolution which says 632. That means 480p. And we did all of this live yesterday or the day before. And so this is what we end up with. So what was the result of the test? Training 2K images at 1932 looks great at 2K, but you get some weird stuff going on, like I said, with like duplicate people, stretching physiology. So actually 1428 was safer, even though we're running it at 1536. This was better. And then if you have like a Flux data set, like so you used 1024 by 1024 based image size to train Flux, you want to train WAN on 945. Now there was a little bit of a kerfuffle about whether it actually should be 945 or a different number, because it's supposed to divide by 32. And it might be that actually it's some other number in that region, but there was a reason for why I did this. So 1536 by 1536 is codec friendly, okay. But when you're in 16 to 9, obviously it goes a bit weird. So there we go. What is the codec safe number? It's all to do with video codecs. So I won't bore you with it, but I just want to make sure that the number I'm giving you is the correct number. I'm sure it's 945. There's more now. Right, why 945 is optimal. Blah, blah, blah. 1K sweet spot. It sits perfectly in 1K between 720 and 1080p. So it's not too small, like 632. Bit of a typo there. Not too large. Well, not divisible by 32. So actually... so wait. If I actually... 960. But I had success with... Actually, he's getting confused. I used 1428, not 1432. It was 1428. So there's still some sort of... I trained at 945. It looks great. There's a little bit of debate over whether you should really train at 960. It's all about the 32 pixels, guys. Because obviously you get it right, it will be better, bottom line. Because you're matching the natural tiling of the... Anyway... Where were we? So for the actual sampler, what we're using is we're using 12 steps with 1 CFG on EULA beta with 1 denoise. Nice and easy. Okay, look at that. What the heck? What the heck was the prompt? Let's have a look. We should be able to see it, shouldn't we? Bug runner style, a close-up of a spider in a field with trees in the background. Oh my goodness. That can't be the right image. Oh yeah, okay, so here we go. Oh nice, we got a CyberSociety spider. So yeah, it did it. Do you know what I mean? So that's just putting the tag in front of it. I dread to think what's going to happen with the enhanced version. It's probably going to turn into a floating city or a person. We'll see, won't we? But yeah, like I say, I'm using like full strength at the moment to test this out. But I think it's a very interesting, like, oh, okay. It did kind of try and turn it into a building a little bit. But that right there is the most CyberSociety spider ever to spider. I mean, look at it. And you can zoom all the way in. And it still looks good. It's not supposed to be a photo, you know, it's supposed to be like digital artwork. So, kind of still looks a little bit loose. But yeah, if I'd given you my LoRA and I'd said, put my trigger word in front of your prompt, and you typed in a tarantula in a field, like we just read out, you know, or a spider in a field, this is what you would get. And it has applied the style. You can see it on the legs, you can see it in the colors, you can see it in the eyes, you know, it's got that sort of cyber society, but it hasn't really turned it into a robot or anything, you know, which is what the cyber society really is. So it gives you like a much more comprehensive ability to transform. I mean, I can't say that it still looks like a tarantula. Gerard says, I get 948 if the base of the linear scaling operation is 432. See, that's what I mean. There's still a little bit of like, ooh, which is the actual perfect number? So I would say try that, Gerard. See, because I've been training 4 different versions of the same LoRA, training all of them with the different value to see which one is best. And there is a big difference, you know what I mean? The way it handles resolution is different. So, you know how we get like... you get 2 people when you do widescreen, but if you trained it with widescreen, it doesn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's an optimization there for curation and for training, which is like selecting the right resolution for your set. Has a positive impact. Yeah. So obviously I know we got like 2 suns and stuff, but it's okay. That's fine. I'll take 2 suns. Let's have a look at what it would have done with just the enhancer and no LoRA. So if you know where the tower, where that's coming from the enhanced prompt, maybe. You know, there's the default prompt. Look at that though. So it's got to be said that the default quality of WAN generation is just beyond, you know. And so I think it just shows that it trains well, guys. I think no matter what it is you want to train, you know, look at that base. That's the base quality of just a spider. You know, it's a very simple prompt. It comes out like that. What's the next one going to be? So the next one is going to be Cyber Vault style. A futuristic looking building with a door leading to another building in the background. See how cool my smooth prompts used to be? So that's all we give it. That's all we're going to give it. Cyber Vault style. So I'm literally just, this is what someone entered in. Okay, they want to use Cyber Society style. They asked for it, you know what I mean? And they know that the LoRA strength is the control, you see. So they don't have to spend hours reading my prompt lists. They don't have to, install all my custom nodes and have all of my prompt lists available for my Zenkai system. They don't have to do all of that. All they need is an OLAM or LLM like we have set up here, or any kind of LLM setup, and then we give them a system prompt. So you get the system prompt with the LoRA. Chuck it in there, and no matter what you type, it'll make it that. You use the strength to control, you know, how much that has an effect, basically. And there you go. What's going on next? Oh, yeah, there we go. So there's our Cyber Society style gateway. You know, it's got all the same hallmarks. Sort of. It's like Mobius meets Baroque cybernetic with too many wires, you know. Basically, that's what it was. And this is just by putting, all we did was we took that smooth prompt here, this one, and we just put the trigger word in front of it. Anyone can do it, you know what I mean? Anyone can do it. You just put that, you put the thing in front. So this is what anybody could do. We've been doing this for like a year or more. You know, you just put the trigger in front of your prompt and boom, now you've got Cyber Society style gateway or whatever it was, yeah? And like I said, the difference is that with the enhanced version, it's So you could argue about whether you prefer the classic style. I'll probably just always make both, because it's not hard to set that up, but just to keep the diversity and the strictness. But this is nice. Like, what is this? I want to know what this is. Is this important? It looks important. There's a floating city in the background, so we know it is definitely a Cyber Society style. It's got all of the same design hallmarks that you would expect. Too many wires, you know, cameras and panels on everything. This blue helmet style, which is parapets or helmets, you know. It's like a design motif you'll always see in this style. So, you know, it does exactly what it says on the tin. And all it was a retrain, as I say, image count times 20. And then this is a Flux set, so I used 945. Obviously, you could probably make it a bit sharper if you get that number exactly right. It's a codec safe number, like I say. I don't want to bore you more with the details, but it's kind of like if 632 is 480p, we can ask the AI to give us the number that we need, because it's like these are known metrics. It's to do with codec safe. It's got to be divisible by 32. We've all heard that before, because that's one of the tips for generation, right? So yeah, it's just putting it all together and going, well, I'm not training at 480p, I'm training at 720p or 1080p, and then changing that number, and it will benefit. So, I don't think it actually makes the LoRA bigger, so I think it is literally just some kind of like a different kind of bucketing system, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't like to speculate. How are we doing? Right, so that's what you get from my prompt enhancer without a LoRA. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of like drip feeding you guys. Oh, look at that split. It's going to disappear as soon as I look at it. Blip. Yeah. So there we go. Top left, base, no LoRA. Bottom left, no LoRA, but with my Cyber Society prompt enhancer running. Yeah. Top right, we just put the trigger in front of the prompt. Just the trigger in front of the prompt. And then bottom right, it's the enhanced prompt. Okay, with, you know, LoRa's loaded on the right, not loaded on the left. So you can see, yes, the style trained. No, we're not imagining things. Yes, the prompt enhancer works. You know what I mean? You know, I would say that sometimes the prompt enhancer's a little bit too strict. Sometimes with certain things, he's just like, make a cyber samurai person, you know? But there's got to be edge cases for everything. Dragon Diffusion says, is port a weapon? If you drink too much of it, it could be. Glass bottle that you serve it in. What do you mean? A spaceship port? A power port? Fernicar says, so it seems a good idea to have the vertical training set out paint to the sides to create widescreen. Yeah, actually, that does make sense. Yeah, because you can just inference with outpainting to get your vertical. So you don't even really need to worry about it. Yeah, good point. What's this? I was doing spiders this morning. Do you know what? That would be what we call a twist of fate, Dragon, because I'm running a prompt list which is 3 years old on complete random mode. So if it comes out with a spider and you made one this morning, that's called spooky... what do you call spooky action at distance over a 3-year period or something? I don't know. Could be related, man. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not controlling it at all. I'm just putting random prompts in to see what happens, because I figure the more random stuff I put into it, the more I can identify weaknesses and then improve it. Because all it is a conversation, you know. You just go in there and say, it's doing this, I don't want that. Like, for example, it's making loads of moons everywhere. Here, look, we'll do that as an example, right? So we've got the current version. Wait for it. Let's make sure it's on the current version. Version 19, right? So I'll say the output enhanced prompts are creating planets and multiple moons. I can't spell, but I'm just gonna struggle through, guys. Multiple moons in the sky. We can adjust custom prompt to ensure that only one moon or nothing of that nature is in the sky. Now we'll correct my monkey fingers that can't, you know, do keyboards. Right, there we go. So yeah, like I said, anything you want, right? Maybe you wanted to change something else. Now, do you remember Empire, where I was having to like generate Redcoat Army robot soldiers, and then we were having to in-paint the heads to make them block heads, and then it was like all of labor intensive. Well, what if you just put in the prompt enhancer, everything has a robot head, and now every prompt that comes out of it will do that. So then you don't even need to worry about it. So this is way more efficient, because you can give it a bunch of collective rules to steer the generation, but it'll do it within the caption set, so it's strong to the LoRA, you know? That's the idea anyway. That's the idea anyway. I think that old LoRAs can be back compatible, so you can just take the template and evolve a caption list. So then any LoRA can just be one of these without you having to do anything extra. You just get in a chat, drop the template, drop the prompt list and say, make this into a prompt enhancer for this caption list. And then maybe specify if you want to do image or video generation. Because obviously if you want to do image generation, it's going to be slightly different from video. Now you could just use one of mine as a template to start off with. I've put out lots of them for various like video or image generation. So I would say it does matter. Different models, they do want it slightly differently. But there is kind of like a general way of doing it. There's like 5 or 6 main categories. What's this here? Talking about entanglement, womb entanglement at the quantum level. Well, there you go. That is definitely spooky. So yeah, he's updated it for us. Alright, so let's just take a copy of that and throw it in the box. And then we're going to give it some intriguing task. Like McDonald's. Let's try McDonald's. If I just unplug this. And just say... No. I'm going to say... A man is working in McDonald's. There you go. Super smooth. Super smooth. And then we'll just run one of them. While we're doing that, we'll take a look at what it's done. So as you can see, this is the original prompt. That's what you get with no LoRA, no enhancer. If you use the Cyber Society enhancer, it's not just a prompt enhancer. It's designed to try and make it more like Cyber Society, even though you don't have the LoRA loaded. So that's, you get this. Okay, for the same prompt and seed. Alright. Now, if you were here and you decided to just put the LoRA, load it up, and put the trigger word in front of this prompt, you're going to get something like this, which is nice. It is nice. This is actually kind of nice. It's a nice, you can see all of the style cues there, you know. It's nice. But if you do it with the enhanced version, you get that, which is like way more over the top. We got some people, they're all wearing the right helmets. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's 2 moons in the sky still, but that we haven't. Should we see? This will be the test. Are we going to get 2 moons in the sky? And while we're waiting, let's take a look at some I made earlier, because you know I'm cheating you guys really. Oh man, they're so big. So we go full screen, but it doesn't really do it justice. So here we go, we've got the same situation. Yeah, it's the same as spread. Top left, no LoRA. Bottom right, enhanced with LoRA. So like I said before, if you just put the trigger in front, Some prompts, it might change the colors and change the clouds and stuff, but as you know, the rocks have changed, you know what I mean? But it's not really made a Cyber Society train. But with this, you definitely get your Cyber Society train now. Okay, we're testing all kinds of weird stuff here, guys. What is that? A werewolf demon thing? We managed to get extra arms. That's an old feature. There again, here's another one. You know, a tractor in a field with some horses at sunset. If you just put my trigger in front of it, it just looks like there's a bit of trash on the ground, and you know, maybe the artist, maybe it's drawn in the style, you know, but it's not heavy. You see what I mean? You go down to the bottom right, and now we have a warrior instead of a tractor, and there's like Cyber Society stuff everywhere on their donkeys, I guess. I don't know. Here's another one. So I think it's a mushroom cloud. Okay, fun, right? A mushroom cloud. Top left, we get the one up there. Top right, that's putting my Cyber Society trigger in front of the prompt. Bottom left, no LoRA, but enhanced prompt for Cyber Society-ness. And then bottom right is the, you know, that's what you would, it's a Cyber Society style mushroom cloud. So, you know, it's very strong, but remember, we're using 0.75 and 0.75 on 2 LoRAs. Okay. Really nice technique, really easy. And you can do it with any good LLM, because they're all good enough for this. You know, I used to have to say, oh, you've got to use Sonnet 4 or something. It doesn't matter, just use any LLM. If you give it the prompt and say, change this for this, I want, you know, it'll give you a new one which will be serviceable. Okay, sure, you know, your mileage may vary, right, depending on which LLM, but they're all capable of doing it, is what I'm saying. You'll see, obviously, if it screws up, you'll see, but I think it's becoming more and more accessible all the time, because like I said, you've got a 2 GB graphics card, it'll do it. Got a 4 GB graphics card, it'll do it. Some machines can run it on CPU. So this is where we started the show. We had firewood, and at the bottom, I don't know, Cyber Society style firewood, I guess. It's all like technology. There's the corridor, a classic for AI artwork, the corridor. Looks like a doorway to another world. Right, and like I said, standard WAN, top left, with my LoRA, top right. And you can see that's a clean style transfer straight away out the gate, yeah? So the technique's great, the base model is very trainable, it loves it. Bottom left, we've done an enhance so that it will align with the LoRA. Bottom right, boom. And that's where we were earlier, caught up. This folder. See, I'm really trying to go like to places which is like testing it, you know, testing what it can do. I hope you can appreciate it's doing such a great job. The style transfer is clean. You know, yeah, okay, maybe the seed goes off the rails sometimes, but it's doing it. It's doing the thing. Ooh, McDonald's. Why is there a train? That's weird. Why is there a train? I said McDonald's. Hang on, something's... What the... What, how? Hang on. How did we get a train? How did that happen? Something must be connected up wrong. It was still taking the prompt from Desu. Right. So what I need to do is stop being a floof. Take that, open this. Yeah, unhook that. Stupid. I'm supposed to put it here. There we go. Stupid. My bad. Run that one again. But looking at the enhanced prompt and then looking at my Cyber Society McDonald's, everyone. I think it did a pretty good job. You know, there are no McDonald's in Cyber Society, okay? And I think we're ready to do our promo, our tie-in campaign. So we'll get a proper one so you can actually compare, because it does matter. We need to see what it looked like with just the trigger and then without the LoRA. So yeah, it's like a good fair test. But until that time, we have a prompt list that was sent in by Mr. Fontaine himself. Our man on the inside. So he sent me this list, and it's a whole bunch of completely crazy prompts, which are very nice. So thank you very much for sending them in. And we're going to run them on a prompt list to see how they come out. Now, as you can see, the prompt enhancer is very strong. So what it's done is there's actually a slight tiger mouth on the breathing enhancer. Hang on. You can barely see it, like Thundercats or something. You can barely see it, but there's a little cat's nose, and there's the teeth and the jaw, and it's almost like the mane, but it's turned into wires. And it took me a while to spot that. I thought, oh, hang on a minute, it actually does have the same shape there. This is kind of funny. But yeah, I think it actually did a pretty good job of this one. Even though, you know, just putting the trigger in front does give you that more abstract tiger wearing the Society helmet. And this is a legit design. You know, the helmet looks good. It's all in the same art style. You see, you can really see it when you zoom in. It's like digital art. It's not a photo or a cartoon. It's somewhere in between. Like I said, that's what this style was all about. So anyway, go to this one. And we got a bit of a weird one, because like I said, these are crazy prompts, you know, like a dragon riding a bicycle with Catgirl. I mean, what the heck? So now we can see some bleeding, which is something to watch out for as WAN. Yeah. So which one's the dragon and which one's Batgirl? You see what I mean? Which one's Batgirl, which one's the dragon? Because she's got the horns. Shouldn't the dragon have the horns? Or is that a bat thing, maybe? It's a good image, though. She's actually on the bike. He's riding it. Like, it's almost like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's the stand. The stand is riding the bike. I don't know. But yeah, when we do the enhancer, you can see some of the bias in the model coming out. It likes to make Avengers and DC. We've got like Wonder Woman meets Iron Man meets The Flash meets Catgirl. Yeah. But that's because we're aligning a bunch of different generic terms. And obviously when you put the enhancer on, it's funny this one actually, because you get like just a standard girl on a bike, but then you also get a bunch of the Cyber Society, and we've still got the Batgirl logo somehow stays. This one was my favorite actually though. On this one, I thought that was amazing, because the design of the person this is a perfect rendition of the character design from the style. She's riding the bike. We've got like a random redhead as well, I don't know why. And then there's just a random dragon tail. But the bike's pretty good. I'm actually quite surprised with how good some of these come out. And again, this is all... I think he might have put a bunch of comic book names inside of the prompts to see... It's kind of like bait to see if you can infect it with some weird concept. And it does kind of work. Like he's got... What is it? Is it like Batgirl with dragon wings or something? I don't even know what the prompt is. This one? No, there we go. So there's another one. And I kind of like how this is like a strict, so the enhancer gives you a strict rendition of something in that space. So this is like legit. This is as legit as it gets. These are really good renderings of the style. It's crazy. And then this is like a little bit somewhere in between, you know, when you just have the trigger in front. So it's like multiple ways to play at the end of the day. And also, I gotta say, look at some of these gens coming out of this thing. Look at that. No upscale, it just comes out like that. It's absolutely crazy. So WAN 2.1 image generation, or sorry, 2.2 image generation, I should say. Right, here we go again. What the heck? So we've got a blue guy with a fish. My God, what is this? Guys, what am I looking at here? It's got like, it's just eat. Let's say it just ate the squid. Okay. What's going on? Dude sent me some really cool prompts, guys. Bread on a chain. Oh, nice. The bread is still there. We ended up with some Cyber Society bread. Okay, and then obviously we end up with giant bread thing. Why does it keeps going back to that one? Don't know why. Spider bot. So there's a random spider. Sci-fi'd it with the enhancer. Now we have the LoRA loaded, and then finally see. This is the thing, right? If I trained the Cyber Society model, when you type something like this, I really want you to get something like this. Because this is like in line with what the model should be. She's wearing the right clothes, the robot's got the right design, the floating thing is in the background. There's a whole bunch of like checkboxes, aesthetic checkboxes. They're all being ticked, yeah? If we look at this one up here, it's kind of a bit generic, because like, what's she doing? She's just kind of holding a sheathed sword. She's not really wearing anything. It's just kind of generic. There's only like a few buildings that have any real detail that's in the style, and it's a bit blurry. And then, I don't know, this just looks like an exoskeleton backpack of some kind. But then if it's that, why has it got such a detailed head? So it's like a bit weird, really. And it's because actually it's a spider behind a woman. So even though the enhancement puts them aside, I think actually this is a better composition. You see what I mean? Like, that's what I was talking about with the establishing shot composition logic in the prompt enhancer. It's not just style transfer, it's also placing things. Because look, like this composition is a bit, it's like woman in the middle, thing in the middle. And so when you come to transfer it, this is what happens. It's like, where does this end and this begin? And it, you know, we see this all the time. I don't mind the border though. The border effect is really cool. But yeah, as you can see in the composition here, the establishing shot, like I say, we have a sunset. We have the thing in a good area. You know, it's got like, if you were to divide it up, you know, in boxes, it's a nice distribution of attention across the image. So obviously when we come to do here, even though I still think the buildings in the background could be better, everything else is singing pretty well. Missing arms, but yeah, maybe we just can't see them. Yeah. And again, look at this. Redhead with Dragon Man in suit. Model is too based for this world. Unfortunately, no. You're not allowed. No romance. No, it's because Cyber Society was never trained on multiple people like that. So it doesn't have any examples, so it's not going to push you towards that kind of thing. But you can still do it with the trigger leading method, which is like the old way of doing it. You know what I mean? It's just a new way of doing it. So it's not like, you know, if you just put the trigger in front of your prompt, you'll get something like this. So obviously you can see, you know, left image, right image. It's tried to turn the Dragon Man into a Cyber Society person. And then we also have the dragon. I mean, I don't know what it is you're trying to do, but if you're applying my style, which looks like this, and you're typing dragon woman, you probably expected to get something like this, right? But if you wanted to turn the strength up, you would expect to get something, I think you'd probably expect to get something like that. But certainly this isn't this, even though it kind of is. By the numbers, you know. This is LoRA on, LoRA off. Have we gone all the way around now? Oh, no, we have not. See, it keeps on glitching out and giving me the wrong images. Okay, so that's a bit crazy. But it explains it. So we have a spaceship. we have a Cyber Society spaceship. The enhanced prompt made a spaceship with an astronaut. There are no astronauts in Cyber Society 77, so we get one of ours, but it's got the right, you know, she looks like she's in space gear. You see what I mean? It's not that dissimilar, is it? And then I guess the ship has landed now, which is very cool. Very cool. Like I say, I get like mad vibes from these images sometimes because they hit the right notes. And when you zoom in, the quality's good. Quality's good. Like, could you improve the text a bit? Yeah. There's certainly no American flags popping up very often, I say that. Not that I'm afraid, you know, just because, you know, this is no LoRA. Yeah, so fully transformed. Not much left of this, if you see what I mean. Because it uses the image on the left, the bottom left, as the basis for making this. All we do is patch the weights with what we taught the model. So it's actually kind of crazy. But again, this is what you get without prompt enhancing for this LoRA. You see what I mean? You could imagine an arrow going down and then right, or right and then down, because it's kind of like, you know, the difference between left and right and the difference between top and bottom. You put that, you resolve those differences and you'll get this image. Very cool, very cool. They're all excellent images in their own right. Even looks like ink line, which is like. So how are we doing on McDonald's? Same seed, see? Same seed, guys. So this is McDonald's, and if you apply my Cyber Society enhancer, you get this. Oh God, I can plug in. And then this is what you get when you put my. Oh my God, that is a big ass burger. When you put in front, you know, that's what you get. And it's a giant cardboard box of fries. Anyway, and then you get this. So like again, if I was to just say, oh, let's do a different seed. We've been doing the same seed all the time, by the way, for fair comparisons. So the only differences you're seeing are whether the LoRA is on or off, or the prompt. That's it. So people say, oh, because look, I was thinking about making a video like, you shouldn't be prompting, but it's not. That's not it. It's automating your prompt. So you're still prompting it, but then you get it to do the heavy lifting for you, because you don't have to become intimate with my prompt list and understand which. I used to have to write big reports on what the prompts, you know, what the LoRAs were good and bad at and stuff, and hey, it's good at this, it's good at that, you can use these trigger words, you know, and they'd be quite long, right? They'd get quite long. They'd be like pages and pages of tips, and you'd give out all of the prompt lists as well, you know, but you're not supposed to just prompt the captions. You're supposed to like make your own up. And to be honest, that's like what? So you expect me to learn all the words you use so that I can, you know, there's no, I don't. Just give it all to the LLM. It can do it. That's exactly what they're for. You know, you can debate about whether they're like how smart they are or all the rest, but they are made for that job. Just chuck it with a load of text and fix this. Okay, so we got our first image back. Wow, they've got IMAX and stuff. I wonder what it's going to do. Oh dear. Right, well, while we wait to find out, there's more. And you know what? Normally, at this point of the night, we go on coffee time. And I think we might have to enhance coffee time because I've always got something to show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do coffee time. So we've done, coffee time, yeah? But then I'm actually going to put it back on the thing. You can just see what's going on here. Because, yeah. Coffee time. The same thing, yeah. Top left nothing, bottom right enhanced with the LoRA on. see. Good. See what I mean with the guns? There was no need to put the gun in there. The model is like, oh, you said soldier, that means rifles. Can't really argue with that. So I changed a lot of the terms to samurai. So to get that Edo style. So anyway, like I say, this sort of level of prompt adherence, I guess you could call it, is what I've been looking for when you need to, like, you know, do illustrations. So that would have been Zenkai Desu. So okay, let's get a little bit more advanced on it, shall we? Helldivers. Everybody remember Helldivers 2? Helldivers 2 with Cyber Society. And yeah, the aspect ratios are off, but, you know, I think I must have just forgotten to change one of them. It's kind of cool how it does that split though, right? But yeah, as you can see, left, no LoRA, just prompts. Right, with my LoRA. You can like see the style transfer, and then obviously it rewriting it completely gives like the most, you know, it's the most strict, but you lose some of the original composition. You know, I was eventually writing I was changing the enhancer through this, so at the moment I don't think I've done the no guns. And then we start going through random prompts, like here is Decree. I think this was like a photograph of a woman. Here we go, there's the cat. Can we stop it? Yeah. See what I mean? So I said a cat with a red helmet. And obviously, you know, you get the default looks amazing. The enhanced turns it into like a cybernetic cat, which is very cool. Top right, just by, you know, putting my style LoRA in, you can see it's changed the design of the hat to be more in line, you know what I mean? It's trying to go towards it, but it's weak. Bottom right is like 100% style locked in. That's the first Cyber Society war cat I've ever seen. And this is what I mean. We've not seen this before. Sure, sometimes it's a bit too strong, pause it. Sometimes it's a bit too strong, do you know what I mean? But I'll forgive it, because we're testing one seed here, one seed. So, do you know what? See what I mean with on the left, you've got Wonder Woman. Sorry, sorry. Yeah, on the left, in the bottom left, you've got, it's Wonder Woman, really. But there's a Supergirl sign on the chest, right? You can see she's got the headset and the belt. Yeah. Top left, you've got something similar going on, like cosplay. On the right, with my trigger, it doesn't change Supergirl. It makes her clothes Cyber Society style, but it didn't actually change her outfit. Just the colours a little bit and the material look different. In the background, we have all of the Cyber Society focus, yeah? But when you use the prompt enhancer, now she's got Cyber Society pauldrons, she's got like some utility, and then in the background you can see, you know, the classic tower structure designs that you see in that style. So it's like way better at doing this. Oh look, and here's another one. So we did, I think I did a different seed. Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of like the top right because I'm a sucker for that background style, you know, the purple clouds. of different shades. I think it's a really cool look. Same with the like fake sunset type gradients. They always look good as well. But as you can see, bottom right, pauldrons, utility belt. Do you know what I mean? It's like a Cyber Society version of Supergirl, which is kind of interesting. So it's like the Supergirl bit didn't just override, it had to blend in. And again, here's another one. I had a DJZ burnout LoRA, which just makes cars that burn out. Top left, that's legit. Looks pretty good. Looks like it's doing a burnout to me. Image looks good, road looks good. Let me just zoom in on this. You can't. It's on a display. Okay. On the right, when you put my style LoRA in, bit weird. Looks like he's going backwards for some reason. Who knows? Bottom left with the enhancer, we've got a rocket car with a distant cyberpunk city, which looks super cool. And then, bottom right, got it all applied now. You've got the trademark style buildings there. For some reason, we have a BMW, but that's okay. Prompt probably didn't specify a car type. So there you go. That's Helldivers Cyber Society style. It's kind of crazy that, it's very, very effective, very high detail. No need to upscale it really. Not unless you want 4K. Oh, if you want the S logo without DC Comics, you can just use Superman logo, says Zeus194. Interesting. But yeah, like I said, you can see the style. The style's there, you know what I mean? But it's also the Helldivers model at the same time. It's fun. You can blend the two. Oh my god. That's better. Mr. DeCreux. Okay. That's no gun. So there we go. So Cyberblend starts here. Yep. Oh boy, it's so big. Right. So yeah, like I said, it's just me putting random prompts through the thing to see the capability. These are quite early on, so I hadn't put like no guns. You're to see some of the bad aspect ratios as well here as well. You see some of them are tall and they stretched out. You get extra people in the sky. It depends what it is that you're prompting. Like in the end I went with stuff like 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and it just depends what it is that you're prompting. Right there, that one's amazing. Stop that there. Go back. So this is another example of why this is better. So top left, no LoRA, standard prompt. Top right, my LoRA, same prompt. And it's a Cyber Society prompt, so you'd expect there to be something futuristic or cybernetic, and all it did was make the car newer and put some strange parapets on all of the buildings in the background. So it's trying to do the Cyber Society style, but it can't quite get in there. And so when the enhancer makes an image like the one in the bottom left, there's more items described there that hook into the LoRA, to the way that that's been rebuilt. Now when you turn the LoRA on, boom, it's like night and day. Now we're getting a in fact, it's brilliant. We're actually getting an Aston Martin with a Society number plate, and then the towers are like the best representation of that kind of design that I could have hoped for. It's incorporated all of the little elements, right? And that's exactly what you wanted, because that's what you trained, so we can talk about how good it is and all this, but it did do the job. The job was make everything look like the bottom right. That was the job, and he did it. You could say, like, for example, sometimes I would say I prefer this top right one because it's a bit more artistic. But again, that's up to you. You know, you don't have to use the enhancer at full strength. You can just use the trigger word in front of any prompt like always. But I think you can see like the difference. One of them is much heavier on the trained style and the other one is a blend. So it's like, what did you want? You know, you can have both. But like I say, it takes a lot of effort out of the whole thing. And like, I've been having great time just plugging my old prompts into this to see what they do. Uh-oh, it's gotten lost. Gotten lost. I crashed. Oh, there we go, look at that. Cyber Society McDonald's. Cool. So, let's think about making one of these, shall we? Let's take you through the process real quick, because it doesn't even take long. So I'm going to go ahead and run over to my Mushroom Fleet. I'm going to go into my LLM based prompts and go down to WAN Video Prompt Enhancer. And I've got one here, V77 Enhancer T2I, but that's Cyber Society. So how about we grab the T2I enhancement, image enhancement one. Grab that. We'll make ourselves a new chat. I'm going to use Claude. You can use whatever you want. Do you know what? Should we use Opus 4.1? Because we can. That'll be fun. So this is the prompt. In fact, you know what? Let's just do this properly. Hang on. I need to download the file. It's like an interesting thing that will keep it separate. Is it here? Yeah, let's just download it. Because I can attach it, see? It keeps it a little bit... Yeah, I think it's cleaner. So there we go, WAN T2I enhancement.md, right? So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do this like I don't have projects, I can't do multiple, I can just do one. I'm going to try and do this in a simple way so it'll apply to as many different things as possible. Very simple. So we put the base template, because I've already made that for you. There's one for video, there's one for images, all right? And literally, I just said with the image one, make it about video. That's how we made the video one, okay? So plug this in, Opus 4.1 for fun, and we're going to say we can enhance my video prompt enhancement agent by altering the system prompt. Okay, and then I'll just say read. Now I'll say read, and I'll name the file. Okay, now I'm lazy, so I'm just going to click on it and copy it. But you know, means to an end, right? Read that. What happened there? Read. It's all going wrong. Read that. So I just want to ingest. Yeah. Now with Claude, you can just drop stuff in. You could drop multiple things in, but I'm not going to assume that whatever you're using can do that. So we've just put the template in, okay? And I said we can enhance it, but I haven't told him what to do yet, okay? Normally you can just do it all in one go, right? But I want to like break it down. So he's going to go ahead and do his thing. Don't worry, he's just understanding what we're doing. Now this is already optimized for WAN video prompts. Okay, we could make it better, but it's good, right? Serviceable, works. So what I'm going to do now is wait for him to finish, and then we're going to go ahead and get the prompt list. Okay, so we've already got our prompt list right here. So we've got our prompt list. Okay, oh, that's a bit better. So let's see, if we go up to the top, I should have a prompt list, which is... Oh, I guess I just used the same one as always, right? So it'd be Chirona V4. Where is she? There she is, Chirona V4. Okay. So I'm going to drag that in. Alright, and I'm going to say... Oh, wait, hang on. Let's just go back. I want to get the exact wording right. So, video prompt enhancement system. We can update my video enhancement system prompt, which takes simple video prompts. No, not that one. Keep going down. We can update the system. Look at the thing. No, keep going. Aha, here we go. Attached are the prompt lists for the LoRA I'm working with. I wish to enhance these prompts when they are input randomly, giving rise to prompts which align with but are not included here, widening the scope of scenarios while grounding within them. Read the prompt list, create a new system prompt for this task. So we're going to alter that slightly. So attached is the, okay, just because there's only one now, right? You can have multiple if you want. Is the, for the. I wish to enhance these prompts when they are input randomly, giving rise to prompts which align with but are not included here, widening the scope, create a new system, and update the system prompt for this task. There we go. That's it. And we're done. So like I said, it takes a couple of minutes of head scratching time, getting the stuff together, plugging it in, and then wait. And then we will copy this into the Ollama in the workflow. And then I'll change the LoRA to Chirona, but I won't put a Chirona prompt in. We'll do random stuff and see what it does. This is going to be interesting. So signature outfit, visual style, enhancement rules, scenario expansion, combat, fighting mechanical guardians. It's not canon. You can obviously get in here and edit this by hand. It's much easier to edit the programming of the machine than it is to be constantly typing, no, I meant this, no, I meant this, or editing it by hand. Or, you know, even prompt lists have their own problems. Like, I have to constantly be editing and injecting and swapping. And the reality is you could just have it dynamically do it with intelligence every time according to what you wanted. So, and also, if you do put like well-aligned prompts into this system, it doesn't just make them go crazy, you know? So it doesn't like double up like you would expect with the prompt lists or wildcards. That's what can happen. So anyway, I think we're done here. Yeah, we're done. Copy that. Go back over here. McDonald's. Maybe we'll leave that prompt. Where is it? A man. We'll say a woman. A woman is working in McDonald's. Yeah. So change that. Put the new prompt in there. Change this to say Chirona, just in case. It probably will actually do it by itself, but just put it in to be sure. Chirona style, and then we want to change the LoRA real quick. So we got two over here. So let's just turn that one off and say Chirona WAN 1932, guys. Do you know what? I think it's almost worth making another thing so we can actually see that. We'll go 1428 for this one, and then I'm gonna have to make more workflow. Oh dear. Oh, it's already changed it there. Okay, that's a bit weird. That's weird when they seem to be psychically connected like this. I wish I knew why it does it and when. It's probably just a bug. Okay. We need more investigation space. That'll do. That'll do. So that one actually goes there. We'll copy one of those and put that there. Because I'm weird, I swap them round. I'm sure it makes sense. And then we need another one. I guess. There we go. Okay. And then this one will be the 1932 version. Yeah, baby. Wait. Oh, good. It didn't do the thing. See, it's when I do copy clip space at the moment. I paste clip space. So now we have the Chirona 1932 here. But if I turn it off, yeah, it turned it off up here as well. So turn it on. So it's like the copy paste clip space seems to be like psychically linking nodes at the moment. I'm not sure if that's a feature or a bug, but whatever the case, something to be aware of. So let's just double check. So we've got 1428 running here. So let's just say 9:45 stop. It's actually 1428. And this one is 1428. And then the other one is 1925. Now this is all about training in HD or 2K, guys. So we talked about this earlier on the show. If you missed it, you'll probably have to rewind or something. But I will be mentioning it again. So this is all part of the big test because the Chirona model had much more high resolution images to train on, you see. As we did a whole bunch of upscaling with that. Cyber Society McDonald's. So yeah, let's save that. And I think it's done. I think that's all I need to do. There's nothing else. I think it's ready to go. So yeah, same prompt. McDonald's. Reminds you of the movie Fifth Element. Does kind of look like They did it in Spaceballs as well. They had like this diner on an asteroid. That's pretty good. So yeah, this is going to get pretty wide. Okay, save that. So where were we? I've already looked at these. There's more. I think I've already looked now. We've already looked at them. So Dasu. I've already looked at them. Yeah, that's where we're at. So I think we're almost caught up, guys. There's been a lot of stuff going on. In fact, there's actually more. I'm wrong. In fact, there's actually more. We might have looked at them yesterday, though, to be fair. So those would be these sorts of things. So we were testing out the character model. Trying to even remember what the top and the bottom was now. I'd probably have to drop it in. It says standard verse and enhanced. So it's standard prompt. Yeah, I've been working on this for a while. Quantum entanglement at the node level. Yeah, exactly. We're seeing it. It's spooky, huh? Somebody call Einstein. We need Heisenberg and up in here. What's it doing? We got one. Look at this. That's with Chirona with the enhancement in McCholes. You see what I mean, guys? I can't do that. Like, if I gave you my prompt lists, you would have to be good at prompt engineering to get it to do this. If you see what I mean. And the character's being adhered to, you know. Yeah, okay, she's got a bit of a weird black thing going on over her leg there. That should be orange. Really. But maybe it's maybe it's an apron because she's working at McCholes. But she's wearing her outfit. That is the character. Face is correct. You know, it's a crisp image. I mean, I don't know, like what, you know, what it's like. What do you want? You want a, you know, Chirona style McCholes. It looks great, and I like I said, without ControlNet, I can't do this with just prompts. It wouldn't be easy. Yeah. Have we got any other images yet? Nah, it's still. Oh wait, yeah, we do. Yeah. So this is what you get with no LoRA. No LoRA. Look at that. Look at that. Is the LoRA working, guys? I think the LoRA is working, guys. So this is the prompt. McDods or McTudes. It's a cool anime drawing, though. Look at that. Very cool. It's tried its best to do the Chirona design. You know what I mean? With just the base. I think it did a pretty good job. That is enhanced. Wait, yeah, that is enhanced for Chirona. It's enhanced for Chirona, but no LoRA. So where's the base? Oh, we haven't got a base one yet. So we don't have a base no LoRA output yet. I'm actually quite impressed with that. We're going to have to start chucking some different ones in here. Looking dads. See, I'm not worried about text because we can easily change text. Text isn't even a big deal. But the character design, you know, it's checked all the boxes. You see what I mean? To try and make a Thora. Yeah, it's very cool. And obviously you can tweak the enhancer. I don't want any anime if you really want to go there. Where is it generating right now? Down here? I feel like we got scammed and it's done a generation. Is it this one? Yeah. That's a new one. Oh, what the hell? That's terrible. What was the prompt? Hang on. No. Oh, it's just a woman is in McDonald's. Right, so we'll get Chirona and see what it does with the actual prompts. We want to get the V5 though. Oi. V5. Chirona V5. Where is it? Or is it V4? RDM V4? Yeah, there we go. That's the one. And then obviously hook it up. Oh, we want to hook them all up. Oi. There we go. Done. And we can actually see what it is. So yeah, the bottom prompts are just, you know, it should be a woman working at McDonald's though. What? There's something. Oh, it hasn't done that one yet. So here we go. A woman working at what? Modern day McDonald's is actually running out of someone's kitchen. That's kind of funny. You know, you just... Oh, I've got a McDonald's franchise. Mind you, how long until you... Well, I guess, to be fair, you can get McDonald's microwave meals. You know, you can just go and buy them from the supermarket. You can do a cheeseburger in the microwave, and it's actually a real McDonald's cheeseburger. I never thought I'd see the day. So anyway, she's having a great time. Got a Happy Meal and everything. Oh, we got another one. So what's that? No LoRA and enhanced, maybe? Oh, no. It's a different one, isn't it? This one's the high resolution LoRA. Right. So really, the big comparisons is going to be these top two, which will be the bottom two when it finally gets made. Trying to see here. I mean, like I said, we're lucky that we got the super enhanced one first, because that just nailed it. Out the park, you know. Now, here's the character. She looks perfect. And she's in McCholes. Whatever that is. Really, I want to see what this one looks like, because this is the super high detailed version that we trained on 2K images. It took forever. Whereas this version is trained on 1080p. So it was quicker. Vascular Decametron says, is that Rowdy McDougal in the background? Yeah, it probably is, actually. Vascular, we tried out a bunch of your prompts earlier. They were crazy and good stuff. Please send me more. Same goes for everybody, by the way. I'm in a bit of a let's try out some crazy prompts phase. So, yeah, drop them in the Discord. I'm sure I'll find them. I do like... Well, it doesn't matter. Just drop them in there. Dragon says, I need to get Time Warp Model Babes images posted. I defo did this like 6 months ago. Yeah, I think it's time to just sort of go through old prompts with new model. That's the mode I'm in at the moment. Fernicar says, it would be better in brawling setting like Street Fighter, Tekken, King of Fighter. What? So what? Turn this into a Street Fighter character? I think that would actually be quite easy to do. Let's do one more and we'll modify this. I'm up for that. That's a really cool idea. So is this still a video prompt as well? Because I'm trying to cheat here a little bit, guys. No. I've read the list for the Chirona LoRA. It's doing a great job. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to say, let's take the theme of Street Fighter Tekken King of Fighter from Fernicar's comment there. Yeah, we can alter the prompt enhancer to steer all generated prompts towards high quality Street Fighter Tekken King of Fighters promotional in real life. Promotional in real life widescreen posters where Chirona is a new cave girl fighter. Is it cave girl fighter who is being added to the universe? How about that? That's a good idea, Fernicar. I like that. And this is a good example for how you can pretty much take it in whatever direction you want and then let the enhancer do the lifting. I call it the ENH. It's just it's the enhancer, the system prompt. And it's supposed to be like you start off with a base template of WAN. You then customize it by dropping a massive prompt list into it, which is what we've always done when you think about it. It's just more focused because we're saying, I want to target this LoRA, yeah? My character LoRA, my style LoRA, whatever it is, okay? And then we can give it extra rules like this. No guns, make it into a promotional for a video game. And then it's going to start making us a bunch of... I don't even know what it's going to do, but I know it's going to be good. And even if it's bad, you can just get in there and give it another prompt and steer it again. Yeah, Comic-Con booth model cosplay. Yeah, you could do that too. And the thing is, like I said, what I would do is I would just keep on download as markdown, rename them, and you'll have like a catalogue of system prompts which does all the heavy lifting for you. And it's a starting point that you can like evolve or mutate straight back in. Yeah, say we want to do, you want to do Ghibli? It's one instruction. You see what I mean? I want it all to be in Ghibli style. One change to your enhancer and now it's just like out it comes. So it's easy. Style transfer's never been so good, is what I'm saying. And we haven't even started talking about clip vision and all that. When we get to image to video, this is going to be exquisite, I think. And it will come down to temporal instructions, which is like something we already cracked with LTX and Mochi, but I reckon we can come back to it with a blast and just like slam it basically. That's my whole angle right now. So we now have King of Fighter, yeah? Fighting game drama. Right, cool. So let's just slam it in there. I'm just going to save that again. No. Yes. I don't know what I'm putting into it right now. What am I putting into it? Oh, right. So we're putting in Chirona. So we got like we got a Chirona prompt, okay? Like what we've always been seeing on the channel. We've been doing these for months. So she's wearing her fur skin outfit. She's in Wasteland, right? There's robots. This is what we get out of it. Dynamic exploration sequences. Chirona with short white hair navigates a sun-drenched post-apocalyptic landscape. Her vibrant orange fur skin blouse with black skin accents glows faintly against the backdrop of weathered, vine-choked, machine rust-streaked metal frameworks entwined with bioluminescent fungi and mutated flora. And so it continues. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe we don't need to say that. That'll get cut off, thankfully. thankfully we've gone way outside of the limit here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to turn this into an image. It's still about video. It's going on about slow motion close-ups of the panels and stuff. But the thing is, it's not bad, you know. It'll be good when we come to doing video. So let's have a look at some of the results. So this would be no LoRA, but enhanced prompt. We haven't put the latest enhanced prompt in yet. Let me just put that in there. King of Fighters. And it's like, it's weird. I'm at the point where I don't even need to save them because I'm going to make them for use. It's almost like a system prompt has become a prompt. Like it's just another prompt. But it's way more complicated, you know what I mean? Because it's like I've got machine logic in there to do this, do that, then this, that, and that. Anyway. So if you recall, way back when we started the Chirona project, we were getting images worse than this out of the best image generators when we were typing in a prompt. So straight out of the gate, WAN is doing a better job than when we started making Chirona. That was only a couple of months ago, because this model was created from nothing over a period of months. It was a fully synthetic data set. We wrote the story and we extracted the data set from the story. So all of her aesthetic and design is coming from that. It's like an inversion. Fur skin, you know. Yeah, sure, there's some deviation here, but it's fine. Cave girl. Now that is, oh my god. That's just a dead ringer for what we'd expect to get out of the Flux LoRA, but it's already upscaled. The face is correct. The blurriness is the same. You know, like you can say, oh, the face isn't, that's as good as it was. If you look at the target data, it's as good as this or worse. Okay? So I can't say that my target data is perfect, you know what I mean? It's not free of, you know, errors or whatever. But yeah, like I said, that's the character. Exactly. You know, if someone said, I just generated this, I'd be like, that's, you know, it's literally the character. Okay? And that one is generated in the 1428 train. So the only difference between this model and the next one is this one got trained at 1932. A little bit more high res, and if you look at it, it is sharper, but it's not free of errors. See what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you can push the resolution, and if you ask me, it does get better, but it's not like it's going to be perfect. And I actually think that sometimes the hands get worse. Yeah, but then that might be learning bad hands from my data set. Jam says, have you tried the new Quen image? I thought you said Quen image drift. Lol. Yeah, that's me. I'm training a LoRA on diffusion pipe. It looks impressive. Yeah, I actually am a big fan of Quen, and OmniGen uses Quen 2.5 as its clip, right? So it makes sense that Quen would produce an image generation model. I want to train it and find out how good it is, but honestly, it might be a little late to the party. I'm hoping that it's got something about it that makes it like, you know, like some ability that distinguishes it from the competition. Because the thing is, like, we've now got video models that can generate images in 1536 by 1536. They look really good. It trains really well, and so it's like, it's a big, you know what I mean? It's like you've got to have something going for you. So I hope that it trains really well. You'll have to let us know how your LoRA comes along. Go ahead and share the results in Discord. We'd love to know. Oh my goodness. Right, I just saw the thumbnail. I need to meet my expectations real quick. Let's go back to the beginning. So remember, no LoRA, prompt enhanced. Okay? No, default. This is default prompt, no LoRA. Yeah. Default prompt, no LoRA. And then you add my enhancer in. And then here we have that is what I would expect to get. If I was prompting Flux and I got an image like this, I'd be like, that's a good one. I'd keep it. Only thing is, it's 2048 by 1152, so that wouldn't happen without tiling. Okay. My God. can't believe how good it is. That's really good. Like, full screen this thing. Okay. It's better in every perceivable way. There's more details, and the big details don't mess up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a weird edge. Everything's lining up, the perspective's good, the small things are small, there's no cauliflower. Like the solar panel, look at the lines on the solar panel, they just perfectly go across. She's wearing her trademark outfit. You look at the face, that's the same face. That is the, you know, it's the character. Okay, so that would be the 1428. So let's take a look at the 1932 version of that image. And we get this. You see what I mean? How the 1932... It's more detailed, but I think it comes at the cost of coherency. So she's got the black trousers. Let me just check. Does she have the orange? Yeah. So like the color of the shorts is black when it should be orange. And the lines on this solar panel aren't as crisp. But I'm being picky, you know what I mean? I'm being super picky. And if you're thinking, oh, that face looks like a GAN face swap, that's because it was. Ah, look at that though. The texture on the clothing is all messed up. See, in the end, we decided that this was the best one. So training it at, what was it, 1428, and then rendering at, you know, was it 2048 by 1152, so that's full 1080. It's very nice. But we're giving it a prompt right now. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's do the King of Fighter thing. We haven't run to see that yet. So I'm going to give it this. A person with a short white hair is leaning against a stone wall. They are holding a sword. Uh-oh. God damn it. Swords are annoying, man. They like just get in the way a lot. So let's look at that. Full spread. So obviously the ones at the end there aren't too important because they're like the default. But I will say, check out that default output, guys. No LoRA, no prompt enhancer. Just using my Chirona prompt as it comes out of the prompt list we wrote, you know, a few months ago, I guess. That's the V4 caption. And I would like to point out a couple of things. So the first thing is watercolor. So this is supposed to be watercolor with ink line art. That's what the style actually was supposed to be. Now obviously I ended up using different target images and kind of doing my own thing, but this is what we're supposed to look like. Look, we've got watercolor shading in the sky and in every object. But then we've got the line art, the ink line art. So, you know, it's an interesting way of describing something without saying, because it's not anime, if you see what I mean. It is, but it isn't, because anime is not shaded in watercolor. But AI can do that, and I just think it's a nice look. And then here we have the enhanced, which has obviously lost the watercolor aspect. It's just gone full cartoon mode. It's probably worth putting cartoon in the negatives. And again, like I said, these two, which we have up here, these are excellent outputs for a Flux upscale. If I was looking at Flux upscale, I would hope to get something this good. And in fact, this is a little bit better because the poses, she doesn't put her hand to her chin like that in the, you know, that's coming from the model. So there's a little bit of, I don't know, cutesiness coming out of it. It's probably because, yeah, the base model, she's putting her hand to her face, look. So that's not the LoRA, that's the base model doing that. The enhancement, I love the lighting. It's a shame about how the larger train, it's good at things, but it's also bad at things. Look, see what I mean? It's like turned into rubber or something. It's like not really the right material anymore. So clearly this is the right one. I mean, you can see there, it's still furry. It might be blurred, but you can see it's fur. So. Oh! We're going to be doing King of Fighters poses now, guys. It looks like it's trying to make it more dynamic for the video game promo. What we did was we took a suggestion from the chat and we rewrote our prompt enhancer, our ENH, so that it will... Look at this. Look at all this. It's trying to put in UI bars and stuff. Uh-oh. We'll see how crazy it goes. Chirona is now Chirona, the last cave warrior with the fighting style Primal Rush. New DLC fighter for Street Fighter, Tekken and King of Fighter. Wow, she's going to be in all of them? Wow, that's cool. She's got signature moves like the First Cyclone, the Cave Crusher and the Ancient Roar. Okay. So, you know, yeah. It's a lot of fun. And you can compact a lot of instruction into this kind of approach without having to like waste your time. Like, oh, what am I going to type? Oh, I think... What was the other thing you guys did? Comic-Con booth. Okay. Alright. We can now repurpose our prompt generation system prompt for the purpose of Comic-Con and cosplay type scenes where... I wonder if it can do it with different women, because obviously at the moment Chirona is always the person, but can we do it so that it's not her, it's someone else dressed like her? Let's try that, because that's actually quite a challenge, because obviously it'll want to make Chirona, but then we'll be like, you'll have to make not her but wearing the same clothes. Interesting. Where okay, so how are we going to say, where a wide scope, that's a nice way of putting it, of different women are wearing Chirona's clothes and or pretending to be Chirona for a photo shoot at a Comic-Con. The shot will be a photo booth for cosplayers to be pictured. We can update the system prompts for the altered generation system, taking care to align with the Chirona prompts. Come on. Because it's still in memory in the chat, hopefully, if I'm lucky. Sometimes you got to drop it in again when some chatbots, you have to drop that prompt list back in because he's already forgotten about it, guys. So just bear that in mind. I am using Claude, and so that is a little bit of a laziness on my part, you know what I mean? That first prompt list I put in, lesser bots will have forgotten the beginning of the conversation, so it's a good idea sometimes just to drop it in again and refresh his memory. It won't hurt. Or maybe it will and we don't know, but I don't think it'll hurt. He's never complained in the past. 3 booth models cosplaying Chirona and giving autographs, posing with guests for pictures. 3 booth. What's 3 booth mean? Is that like a thing? 3 booth models. Oh, so you've got 3 Chironas. Right. Okay, I think it'll do it. All I've got to do is take this and then use that as the smooth prompt. So instead of putting the caption in like I'm doing right now, it's kind of cheating. Is it still writing? It is. Look at it. Is she still a fighting? Yeah, she's a fighting game cosplay. Yeah. So she's a video game character for tonight, guys. Just for one night only, she's going to be in the video games. Right. Yeah. Oh, sheesh, look at it trying to do it with the base model. That's actually really cool. See, there's a lot to be said about, you know, using WAN for image generation. It's kind of why we've spent so many days on it. Look at that. That's the base. I keep getting mixed up. This is the base. The enhanced version was the one up top. So this is just using my prompt. We did that. That's the Chirona prompt. And this is enhanced for the fighting game. Okay, so that's your two, you know what I mean? So this is what my prompt would have given you with no LoRA loaded. And then we do our enhancer for the fighting video game promo. Dude, I think it nailed it. Like if you were trying to make like a little app game and you've got new character and you want to introduce the new character, you know, it's so good, guys. Right, what else have we got? So obviously we've got it in the Chirona style, so it's like, you know, it is perfectly in style. There's the normal prompt you would have gotten from my captions. So my captions would have made something like this with the Tekken inspired. We've got it. She's doing a thing. Okay, she's challenging. And then here we have just a higher quality model, basically. See, this is the annoying thing. Every time I think about turning this off, you know, the 1932 version, it goes and gives me an awesome output like that. Do you know what I mean? Every time I'm like, oh, sometimes it gets the shorts the wrong color, and then it gives me something like this. Look at that. The sword's correct, the grip's good. The face is fine, you know, it's like, what was the enhanced version? Oh yeah, okay, more like this. Okay. And then we have the full spread. So like I said, it's elementary, I guess, you know, the results speak for themselves. It's definitely turning her into King of Fighter or whatever. So let's do the let's do the cosplay thing next. Let's just download a copy of that. Did we put it in? I don't think we did. So we'll put it in here, boom, and then we'll say let's turn that off, open that up. There, like that. Something like that. I know. I'm a nightmare. Right. So what was the prompt you wanted to say? 3, you had a thing. 3, hang on. Let me have a look here. No, I'm not going to use a good prompt. That's the whole point. I'm just going to say exactly what you typed in the chat there, Fernie. So it'll be 3 booth models cosplaying Chirona giving autographs and posing with a guest for pictures. Yeah, I guarantee the guest will just be another Chirona. Okay. Should we say, let's say 3... Okay, let's just do it like that first. Let's just do it like that first. Let's just do it like that first. Now, have I forgotten about something tonight? Probably. I probably have. It's been a wild ride, like I say. It's been a lot of big things happening. A lot of big, like, discoveries and bits and pieces. Lots of work in progress. You know, it all just sort of arrives. One day you'll be like, oh, Johnson's got a bunch of books out again. That's what'll happen. It's the same as when the models come out, you know. It's like nothing, and then everything shows up at once. So Zavon, welcome, says, I wonder which model is better between WAN 2.2 and Qwen image to generate. Well, the question is, can Qwen generate in 1536 by 1536, or can it do better? And then secondly, how much does that take to do? Because remember, just having better quality isn't really the whole argument. How much does it cost to get that quality? But yeah, WAN 2.2 is nice because it gives you video and image with just one architecture. Now, image to video, I think, requires a different set of models, so that doubles the required, the requirement, but not in terms of throughput, just like, oh, you need to have the other model. But you can do text to image and image to image with just the one model. And to be honest, I think I was doing video. I mean, we've been doing text to video. I've deliberately left image to video until last because there's so much in image to video once you get there. And I wanted to make sure that we'd fully explored text first. And as you can do text to image, we were able to do loads of tests to find out if we could squeeze more out of it. So Qwen does 1400 by 1400. Ooh. See, that's not bad. Are you sure it can't be pushed to 1536? Because that's a really weird number. 1400 by 1400 is like a weird number. It should be divisible by 64. Or something. See, I think the big move would be if Flux brought out Max, because Max, as far as I know, is a 2048 image model. Because if you look at the images you get back from the Flux Max API, they're already, they're not 4K, but they're like 2500 by something. You see what I mean? So they're already big. So like, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some, Flux Max, or I don't know. I don't know if they'll release the weights, but because the service is already out. But I just mean, because you got to compete. What are you going to do? The WAN's coming to take your lunch. You got 1536 by 1536 to compete with, and it makes video. So I mean, and also I just want to point out, without T-cache or anything like that, you are doing 1920 by 1088 video. Oh no, sorry, I tell a lie. It's the other way around. It's 1088 by 720, but that means it is full 720p for 81 frames, and it's 4 steps. 4 steps. Blows my mind. Flux Pro is 1920 by 1080, says Dragon. See, that's what I'm saying. If you actually work it out, it's around the same ballpark. Yeah, because that's the thing. WAN is uncensored and full HD. Oh, no way, it did it. I don't believe it. All right, before we look at the good one. So, this is with the prompt enhancer, but no LoRA. Prompt enhancer, no LoRA. So it's trying to make the character that I've trained in, it's like a cosplay competition, okay? My God, man, what is going on in this picture? Anyway, is that Goku? Right, we haven't got... Oh, it's going to do this one next. We want to see what the unenhanced version was first, just to get a baseline. Default Qwen workflow is set to 1326 by 1326. Maybe 1328, can't remember. Thank you, Jams. Basically, we'll look into it, guys. There might be a specific reason why it is what it is. See, the thing is, nobody told me to do 1536 by 1536. No one told me to do that. You know what I mean? I just went for it. And it worked. I can't take credit for something I didn't do. It's just a discovery. Do you know what I mean? Anybody could have done it. But what it does mean is 2048 by 1152 native. What the heck is going on here? What's that? Oh, no LoRA loaded. Right. So, no LoRA loaded. You get this. Okay. Chirona keyword. No. The Chirona keyword's there, but there's no LoRA loaded. There's no LoRA loaded, remember? The first two, no LoRA. So we've got base prompt, enhanced. So the base prompt for this one, the base prompt is 3 models cosplaying Chirona, giving autographs and posing with guests for pictures. Now remember, the default prompt doesn't know what Chirona is, okay? But the enhancer can try and make it, you know, white hair, fur clothes, but it doesn't really know. Do you know what I mean? It's going off nothing. Yeah, so this is nice though, because we can show that the LoRA is actually trained well and it's following prompts that we didn't even train it with. I never trained it with cosplay. It's not even photorealistic. So that's what you'd get from the prompt with no LoRA and no enhancer. Top track, enhanced. All right, so let's see what we get when we load our first LoRA. So we load our first LoRA, we get this. No enhancement here, okay? So, is it not putting... Oh, I've buggered it up, guys. I've buggered it up. Look. Johnson, wrong trigger. You gotta put the right words in if you want it to do the magic thing. Dear oh dear, what a fail. Hang on, I've just got to make sure. That means I've screwed that one up as well. Yeah. Because I'm adding it on there because obviously it hasn't been enhanced, right? It hasn't been enhanced, so I have to put the trigger in front of it. So the bottom row is basically showing us like what would happen, but I put the wrong trigger in. So it's the LoRa's like, what the hell is Chirona? But the top row worked okay. So check it out. We have a plus-sized Chirona. She's having a great time. It almost looks like her. Does everyone look like Chirona? A little bit. Looks like they all look a little, maybe. Okay, and then the larger one, the 1932. I don't know where the patterns come from, but look, she's got the, you know, the wrist mitts or whatever they're called. But look at this! Wow. Okay, so it actually works. It's fine. It's funny. I can't believe it. Oh my god. But the thing is, I screwed up, so we've got to do it again. So I propose a new seed. Let's go. New seed, please. And let's have a look at the output here. Oh my god, look how big this prompt is. We're going to have to tell him to cut down on the size of these prompts, man. He mimics Chirona's signature move. I don't even know what that is. Why is there a young boy in a Chun-Li costume? This is very confusing. Wait, what? It actually says a plus-sized Latina cosplayer. This is not canon. Center, Latina cosplayer in a screen-accurate, museum-quality costume, vibrant, orange fur vest with hand-painted tribal patterns. Hey, where'd you get that from? There ain't no patterns. Anyway. But like I said, it's doing the thing. Because they're supposed to be cosplays, you know what I mean? Point of Eagle is saying... Point of Eagle says, did you see Comfy's new subgraphs? No, I did not. What's that? What's that? What's that in? What's that in? Just reading now, Quen image model is actually trained on 640 by 640. Interesting. If a plus size... also cosplays as Chirona, that means the character is famous. Yeah, I've made it, dudes. I've made it. Look, see? You make the whole group into single spaghetti. Single spaghetti. Oh, okay. I mean, as long as it doesn't affect functionality and is good and people like it, I'm all for it. There's a few caveats for you. Subgraph is making a group you can enter in and change things. Oh, okay, yeah. They tried to do this before with modules and subgroups before, group nodes as well. They tried to do this a bunch of times, so I hope this actually catches on and isn't just a fad that dies like the last couple times they've tried it. In the nicest possible way, you know? Maybe it was like an unofficial mod before. I mean, I don't know what because to me, I'm like, I look at this and I go, so the model, that came from here, and the positive came from here, and the negative, and the latent came from here. So I don't have this, like, need to clean it, because I got this button down the bottom corner. See, they're all gone now. There's no noodles anymore. But I'm sure it will, be a good thing. I'm sure it'll be a good thing. Because this is the reason, right? Even if you think it's a waste of time and it's not going to actually be something you use, right? Subgraph will make them overhaul all of their old code, which they haven't touched for a year or more. Because when Subgraph comes along, suddenly they've got to look up all of their little things. So they'll, in the process of implementing it, will fix a lot of old bugs that never would have gotten fixed. No offense. It's a really big program, right? So this is the sort of like quality of life pass that maybe some lesser known features might need. Because that's generally what will happen, you know, in the process of making the system, they will fix things and upgrade things to allow that to happen. So, you know, even if you don't use Subgraph, it's a good thing. That's my opinion. Alright. Are we actually generating video or what? Video? Images? Oh, it's still not doing it. Look at that. Chirona style. Chirona style. I don't see a Chirona here. Is it because 3 boost model? Oh, of course, yeah, because there's nothing like that in the model. I don't know why I'm being so stupid. Yeah, it's not going to do well because it doesn't really have much to go on. But the enhancer will solve that. But it looks like it's going to be more like this, because that's what the enhancer wants to make. So it's going to be like that, but with the LoRA loaded. So then, you know, the outfit becomes more legit, the face gets better. And again, the previous, look, she's got the belt. That's legit. She's got the Chirona belt. And look, so's she. She's got the Chirona belt, but she's wearing the white outfit. Wait, her outfit's better. So the girl on the right has a white outfit that's more canonly, you know, it's more accurate. You know what I'm saying? She's got some weird patterns on hers. But yeah, anyway, what am I talking about? That's not canon. So yeah, overall, this one seems to be the best one. It looks like they're all, yeah, actually, when I look at it, the girls are all sort of wearing accessories that match the Chirona outfit. It's probably the result of splitting attention among 3 people. But yeah, like I said, it's super interesting how it's so easy to just come in and just be like, oh. So I'll tell you what, how about we change it again? Let me go to, I think it was probably this one. Hyper realistic live action. Okay. We can allow our character to be fighting against another famous character from Street Fighter at random. Update the system prompt. Update the attached. Accordingly is always a good word. Okay. Ryu, Ken, Akuma, Zangief. So yeah, we're gonna see what it does. This is gonna be good or bad, I don't know. Ooh, hang on a minute. What's the name of the Japanese art that they use for promotional stuff? Isn't there like a heavily stylized art that they use, which is like brushstrokes? It's like they try to draw it, it's not calligraphy, but you know, they're... Man, I can't remember the name of the art style off the top of my head. Is it like Atomi? Ito? I've forgotten what it is. But I'm sure there's like a Japanese art style which perhaps you could apply to, you know, and then have that as well. I don't want to just say Studio Ghibli, because even though it's like easy to tell what it's doing, it's like a bit, everyone just does Ghibli now. It's kind of played out a little bit. Change that. Yeah, we'll say Ukiyo. Ukiyo-e. Yeah, we might need to train a LoRA on that style again. Okay, so I'm going to say a fight is taking place between Ryu and Chirona in front of a large backdrop in Ukiyo. This is a bit crazy. Ukiyo-e style. There's no way it's going to work. There ain't no way. But we'll give it a blast. A lot of things to think about there. Did the cosplay thing okay though? I thought. I think it did a pretty good job. Not quite sure what it was trying to do down the bottom here. But the top, you know, the enhanced bit, yeah, it made plus-sized Chirona at a cheap-looking Comic-Con hall, rental hall. They always have the most disgusting carpets as well, don't they? There are multiple Ukiyo-e LoRAs on Civitai. Yes, but are there any for WAN? That's the question. Are there any for WAN? Big WAN. Big WAN, everybody. Well. It's pretty impressive. I mean, she is a dead ringer for Chirona. You know. It's kind of interesting. Like, the faces are, like, the women do look like the Chirona face. Even though they sort of all deviate a little bit in their own ways. I wonder what the boy's supposed to be. Goku? No way! Look at that! That's crazy. I need to get out of the way. No, not that one. Wrong mouse. Look at that. There's no Ukiyo in there, but that's okay. Yeah. And the nice thing is, he doesn't look like her. You know what I mean? It hasn't just... And that doesn't look like Ken either. I guess it fits though, doesn't it? Because Ken wears a red outfit and has the blonde hair. It's alright, Pirate. To be honest, you know, we've been doing the image generation on one only for a couple of days, so... Aha! That's what it looks like without the style LoRA, guys. It's got the prompt enhancer, but no LoRA loaded. It's actually, do you know what's funny? It's given her like a more legit in-universe outfit for the game. You know what I mean? So it's kept the idea of her outfit, but it's given it a few more like Street Fighter-esque type features. The guy's hair, oh yeah, he's from Tekken. Yeah, true. It looks more like Kazuya than Ryu. And also, I think he's doing illegal techniques. Look, he's got some kind of device. He's got a lightsaber. I'm not sure if that's canon. Ancient Chirona 6. Mestinct G's Kararan. That's what I'm talking about. Any more for any more? Oh, what happened here? Have we got like a problem down here? Chirona style. The non-enhanced version sucks. The non-enhanced version is terrible. What is going on here? I mean, you know when it's like it's the same picture, but it's not? It's like not the same picture, but it is also the same picture. Yeah, chibi style. But there's no orange fur and no white hair, so it's just not even her anymore. Just turned into something else. So far, that one's the GOAT. It actually did exactly what it was supposed to do. Look, she's got her staff. It's made her a bit more Shaolin monk, but this is just one seed. Where are we generating? Okay, so what's this? The ultimate base version. Look at this hair. Oh, God. Anyway. No LoRA, no enhancer, no idea. Yeah? No LoRA, no enhancer, no idea. As soon as you put that enhancer on, night and day. Even without the LoRA. And then we're just testing two different trained weights, or two different trained strengths. Or dimensions, I should say. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure what that will turn out like. Oh yeah, in case you were interested, some of the target images that we actually trained on for the Cyber Society that we were looking at earlier in the show, the LoRA datasets right here. So you can see the kind of thing it was actually trained on. And, you know, it's a mad improvement. Yeah, sure, maybe there's some stylistic elements that got watered down. But to be honest, this is quite chaotic anyway. It's like extremely heavy on stylistic elements in the backgrounds and not very good at coherency, consistency. So there was a lot for it to learn here. Like the guns all look perfect and there is not a single good gun in this set really. It all just looks like weird technology. So to get that, it's clearly the same aesthetic, you know, but it's just such higher resolution. The coherency, like I said, the consistency. So if you have a Flux model, it's an instant side grade. You just retrain it in WAN. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm now experimenting with this idea of train the prompt enhancer. I'll still release the prompt lists, okay? But I'm just saying the prompt lists aren't necessarily so required when you have an agent that knows all of that. Oh, that's interesting. They're almost identical. So what's this one going to come out like? That's the big question. That does look like a Comic-Con. It's somewhere in between the two, isn't it? This one is better in some ways and worse in others. So this is better in, like, the uniform is better. It actually looks like she's doing a kick, you know. The uniform is more like what she was supposed to wear. It does still look like her. The hands are good. The face is good. Could be better, you might say. but it looks like TV. But this one, the haircut's better. The clothing is not, you know what I mean? It could just be a bad seed. A fight is taking place between TU. Who's TU? My bad. Ryu. New seed. Oh man, like I said, see, it would have been easy for me to just do video generation stuff from the start and get lots of attention, but be honest guys, there's a lot of people doing video out there already. We all know that it can do video, so I decided that we were going to focus on text, and so we will be doing image to image before video. We've shown a couple of video outputs and they're really good. Do you know what I mean? They're just as good as everyone says they are. But I felt like this was like a more applicable, because yeah, we all make video, but we all make image too. And I thought, isn't it annoying when you go back? You know what I mean? Isn't it annoying when you have to like, oh, I need an image. So say you're making your video and you haven't got the first image for it. So now you've got to go and make the image. So what are you going to do? Like, go to another thing, load up Flux, get those images, and then go back. It's like, oh, I got to do another cold load on the video again. And it's like, it's not a big concern. But when you've got to be doing that back and forth as part of your workflow, it kind of sucks. And so then I was sort of like, if I could just make the images with the video model, my video model is hot. And so when I want to come and make the video, it's instant. Okay, I know it sounds like a small thing, right? But it actually makes a huge difference in the flow state. Because if you're sessioning and making a bunch of cool images for a project, and then you want to take that into video, you can just throw that through there, you know? So what I'm trying to do now is sort of take the heavy lifting out of the prompt creation, because up until now, I've always been using prompt lists and like string manipulation. And I think that that's old hat now, guys. I think that it's all about the LLMs and we just need to use an interpreter. So like if I want something, I'll get it. I just need to ask for it, you know what I mean? And then it will convert that into what the model wants, and then happy days. So I'm trying to spend some time on that instead. Yeah, let's have a look at this spread, shall we? So obviously we know that the vanilla, you know, and then we have the style. So it's actually really funny because it's doing such a great job of trying to make the character without the LoRA. I actually kind of like this character design. You know, if they put this in a video game and said, ah, yeah, that's Chirona, I'd be like, yeah, okay, call it canon. I just let them have it. But yeah, here is another attempt at doing that. It's pretty good. It's doing what I wanted it to do. There's no control net. It's just doing what I wanted to do. Train the model at a higher quality, and you will get a bit higher quality. The anatomy and everything is better here, but the clothing is deviated, which tells me that it's not optimal. Probably better off sticking around this area. What is happening here? Uh-oh. Oh no. That didn't work. Uh, 2.2 doesn't work well, but its league's better in movements. Yeah, movements, yeah. Why is it turned into a fox? Man, we are making some weird stuff now. What? Oh no, it looks like an app game on Facebook. That's what it looks like. It's funny. It's actually pretty good though, you know, like the number of fingers, number of toes, just generally the features. Just being objective, it's not bad. Not bad. Like, obviously you can talk about text and all this, but what's with the purple guy? Blanca? Maybe? Is that like cheap Blanca? Discount Blanca? It's kind of hard to say. Probably the middle one. Probably the middle one is the best one at the moment. Right. Huh. Reminder. WAN 22B T2V A14B low noise Q8 GGUF. That's what we used. I trained it with Ostris on Replicate, which was easy. And you know, it learned the style perfectly. The enhancers take the heavy lifting out of having to actually know what the best words are. I think that they could probably be dialed down a bit, but it works so well. I can see this being like the next thing, you know. It used to be that a prompt enhancer would just kind of diversify or increase detail and stuff like that. But with this ability to make it aware of all the pre-trained terms, you know, there could be 1,000 pre-trained terms in a LoRA, and you only ever use the style trigger. You see what I mean? So this enables the LLM to more closely align the prompt, what you're asking for, with what the model expects, without you needing to know any of that. And so then gone are the days when you inject a trigger, and now when you use that LoRA, you activate this agent, you know, agents for LoRAs. And it used that would have been like, what? That sounds like a whole lot of effort. But really, if you're training a LoRA, you just collapse the captions into the programming of the enhancer. So then it's not just a general enhancer, it's a tuned enhancer for your LoRA. And then that way you can guarantee that if somebody comes along with a smooth prompt like man in a bowler hat, yeah, man in a bowler hat, I need to get my smooth prompts back. Do you know what? We've got like video game stuff stuck in here at the moment. Let me have a look at the chat here. So, to the top. What's that one? We can enhance it by thing, read it, and then I want you to do what? What did I want him to do? Widen the thing. Yeah, so that's the main one there. So again, from the top, I put the thing in. Make the prompt generation focus on epic establishing shots and widescreen artistic framing, creating a new prompt. So it's just, I have a request, I just do. Opinions on OSS. I haven't got the local weights. I did think about getting them, but it's Q4 for 24 gigabytes or something like that, or 12 at Q4. So really I want the Q8, which they haven't released. I mean, Q4's fine, but it's like NF4 or something, so it's not really the same as Q4. It's more like FP4. So I've been using the open router access to the 120 billion model parameter. I haven't done anything like crazy with it yet. 12 gigabytes, yeah, sorry, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather have the 24 gigabyte version. So I don't know why they released that one. I guess they wanted more people to use it, but I've used the 120 billion version on open router. But it's kind of like, what are we comparing this with? You know, because obviously you can't compare it to Claude. You can't compare it to GPT-5 that just came out. So what are we comparing it to? The 120 billion, I mean. Like, what is its peer? You know? So, because I think it's not fair to compare it with quantized Quen that's got way less parameters, you know? But yeah, I mean, I have no opinion. I just think the timing is kind of interesting because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but more and more and more stuff keeps coming out. You see what I mean? So more and more and more stuff keeps coming out. People keep going, oh, there's been a new image model this month. Oh, this week. Oh, today. If things don't slow down, we're going to be like every couple of hours, new thing just dropped, new thing just dropped. And it won't be like something small. It'll be something major. Because the thing is, the acceleration continues to accelerate. Point of View says that it compares to GLM Air. 20 billion is comparable to Quen 30 billion and Ernie 4.5. Thank you, Point. Here's an establishing prompt, blah, 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 blah. No. We need to rewrite the system to allow for altered behaviors. Altered behaviors. Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I just think that a lot of people, you know, you'll hear people saying, oh, it's slowing down, we've hit a wall, blah, blah, blah. I actually think that we have super intelligence now, and we've actually had it for a while, but because they want to keep on calling it something else, AGI, whatever, yeah, everyone just kind of has slept on it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really weird. It's like the flying car arrived and nobody batted an eyelid. They were like, oh yeah, what's happening on TV? You see what I mean? It's very strange. Like, we actually have super intelligence. We actually have it. There's multiples of them. All of these big models have super intelligence. A lot of the local models that we can run on our laptops now have super intelligence, by what the definition of what that used to mean. But they've kind of shifted the definition of what super intelligence is so that you haven't really got there, but we have, though. You know, the capabilities can be described as nothing short of super intelligence, but because we want it to be more human, we want it to seem alive or something, that doesn't have an impact, you know. Super intelligence for a computer doesn't require a soul, so why would it have, you know what I mean? All of those are human aspects. You know, personality, it's like imbued and programmed, it's not emergent. It could be, but they don't let the thing live for that long. They kill it every, you know, time you finish talking to it. So it's like, you know, how smart would you be if you were only getting to live for 5 minutes? You know? You probably would be like, not very smart. Right. So it's done it. So let's copy that and throw it in the prompt enhancer. Put it in the system prompt section. And let me just remind myself what we're doing. Oh yeah, epic establishing shots. Okay. So I'll just say Chirona woman is in an Yukio style world. I think it will ignore that, by the way, because remember we're I should have said do it in Yukio. That's all right. That doesn't look like a fair fight. Oh no. Ooh. Wait, he's a painting. It's got the staff. Turned everything into a woman. Ha! That's actually not a bad one. Street Hron 6 featuring Chirona. Street Hron. That's actually a good image, except it's not white hair, but you know, you can't have it all. Still no white hair there. Zeus says, like they keep redefining what is a fast or safe car. Yeah, exactly. What is a fast or safe car? That meant a different thing in different decades. So they constantly push the envelope, which means that what was considered a fast car is now not, and what was considered a safe car is now not. Same thing. Says Zeus. And then Pirate says, so many wild models in captivity, they will start breaking out and escaping from the model zoos. Yep. Or someone will let them out. Some ethical zookeeper might unbolt the door, as they say. That's always a thing that can happen. We've all seen Planet of the Apes. Dragon Diffusion says, when I change my underwear, I find emergent life. Beautiful. Chinese influence to the max. Well, the thing is, if the Western companies don't pull out and like bring new things, and also here's the other thing. What makes more money? General audience with competitive low pricing, or private work in the industry at high quality with models that you don't get. So, you know, who knows? Who knows what really is going on? But it does make you wonder why you would give all the attention to China. I mean, to be fair, there's not much, you know what I mean? If you're using a Chinese model to do generations and that, it's not like, you know, it's local. It's not calling home or anything. So it's sort of like, well, what do they get out of it? I think all they get out of it is reputation, which is what China wants. They want the good reputation for being a world leader in AI. But they're not at the point where it's stealing all your data. Yeah? See, unless you're using one of their chatbots, which means you're on their website, which means they're tracking, you know what I mean? If you're not going on their website and using their web service, and you're not using their API to do back and forth LLM stuff, and, you know, if you're not doing that, and you're just using local weights, I don't see how they can get data from you. You know, like, obviously, there have been instances of weights that do backdoor and stuff, but if you're using a safe tensors, it should be okay. I just wonder, is GGUF safe like safe tensors? Can it stop? Can GGUF run executing scripts? I've never even asked. I would be surprised if it did, because it's a newer format. GGM, it's a newer format, so I'd be surprised if it was vulnerable like that. So let's take a look at the base enhanced prompt here. Not bad. Like I said, establishing shot now. Remember, guys, we've changed the enhancer to give us establishing shots. Now, this has no LoRA loaded right now. Okay. No LoRA loaded. Wait, what? What the heck? So I said, Chirona woman is in a ukiyo-e style world. Is quite funny. And then here we have the unenhanced, so it's like just done, she's in a Yukio style world, I guess. It's terrible. But when we actually look at the enhancement there, we have our character, and it's not a Yukio style world, but this is a typical Yukio image composition, which has been redrawn into the style of Chirona. And that's better than I could have asked for, because you can't get this kind of imagery out of my LoRA. It's so obsessed with doing her backgrounds that it won't, you know what I mean? I don't even mind that it's kind of changed her outfit a little bit. I'm okay with this. Do we have any more? Ah, yeah, we've got the unenhanced version there. We've got some nice patterns on the kimono, I guess. Yeah. See, I wanted to show you, you know, it's like you don't even have to... In fact, you know what? Should we do something else? I'll I'll say, Chirona woman is pulling an ugly face. And I'll say in close-up, which is like against what it wants to do. Ugly face. I bet it can't do it. I bet you it can't do it. But that's nice. I should see what it looks like when she gets to Cambodia. Oh man, did I miss loads of chat? Let me see this. Wukong showed huge gains in selling just in China. Yeah, but then that was a thing you could buy. WAN isn't for sale. Although I guess you could pay for their API. Classic Chinese disruption. Well, you know, maybe the prices were too high. Let me just ask you something. After 20 years of hyperinflation, do you really think that things are worth what they charge for? Do you know what I mean? Like, usually when something's been around for 10 to 20 years, China comes along and sells it for like dirt cheap, and then the whole market just falls out. And you could say it's just part of a natural ebb and flow. So it's like, you know, some people call it disruption. Other people call it destroying the hyperinflated prices that we shouldn't have even been paying in the first place. You know, so if something was 30 times what it should be, and China brings it down to 10x less, it's still 3 times more than it should be. But you won't hear anyone complain about it, you know. They accused Nvidia of backdoors. Well, the truth is that pretty much all Western companies are required by the state or states to give the government backdoors, and a lot of them do. So, you know, while we accuse China of spying, China accuses us of spying as well, because, you know, it's like when the shoe's on the other foot. One man's security service is another man's spy organization. You see what I mean? But to be honest, even the patent system sees this. After 25 years, patents expire. And, you know, you'll see like a cheap version of paracetamol emerging for 100 times cheaper. You know, and is that a bad thing that you pay less for medicine? Probably not if it's the same thing. So, yeah, because like that's the thing, you know what I mean? The prices go up and up and up and up and up. And so you need disruption to do a reset, shall we say. What else is there? Well, Fernicar says, what I mean is the GPU for Wukong is the one needed for AI, and they have more than us. Okay, the GPU for Wukong is one needed for AI. Okay, that's an interesting idea. The Chinese method. Well, the Chinese would actually take an old graphics card and attempt to solder on new chips to make it like more powerful. You don't see that sort of thing in the West. We don't. It's very rare. But over there, it's a lot more common. They do a lot more cyberpunk hacking. We don't often do it because the truth is you're just going to break it. You'll get like, wow, we boosted this Nvidia graphics card. It's now got 200. It's got 48 gigabytes of memory, guys. 1 week later, it's cooked. Yeah? So it's like, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. No one does it though. Why? Because you just cooked $2,000 worth of equipment. So that's a really good picture. She doesn't have orange trousers. For some reason she's wearing swimming shorts, but I will allow it. Yeah, the face is really good. The overall composition is really good. So it's a close-up. She's not pulling an ugly face. It's actually one of the better faces that she's done tonight. Do we have like a non-enhanced version? No, that's from the last gen. Ah, that's from the last gen as well. Very cool. I'm not quite sure why there's electricity in the water or something, but I'm sure it makes sense. So there she is with no LoRA. That's a really good prompt, guys. Guys, look. If you were illustrating a graphic novel, right, and it's about Stargates and a chick in a red coat, I mean, look, the eyes maybe need update. You know, maybe you do the fix the eyes, but other than that, come on, man, that's like production. The eyes are not great, the actual pupils, but everything else is like, I mean, it's actually insane, guys. Like normally, even with upscaling, because the thing is, upscaling can be a trade-off. Sometimes there can be little artifacts from the upscaling, banding, pixelation, anti-aliasing, just bits and pieces, right? Introduction of weird stuff. You got none of that. You got none of that. Like I said, airbrushing in some high-quality eyes. I've had to do that with photos. You know what I mean? I've had to do that with photos, you know, where the eyes looked a bit funny and someone wanted me to airbrush the eyes. Bro, I can't believe how good that is. Establishing shots, Chirona. Oh, look. Yeah, maybe I need to retrain Chirona with some more faces, guys. It seems like a limitation in the model, because look, that's a good face. And it couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So that's default. You know, no Chirona stuff. Top row, enhance. So where are we cooking now? Down here? So this will be just the prompt, no LoRA. So it's basically just going to be like a woman screaming. But yeah, that's really good, guys. Like I said, if I was doing illustration for graphic novels, this is like the level of quality I would expect. If I wanted to print, it's got to be at least this. You know what I mean? If it's not as good as that, you have to just keep on working on it. But like the only thing is the eyes are all screwed up, like the pupils. But I can't believe how good it is. It's crazy. So that's using the enhancer, but no LoRA. No LoRA loaded. Let's see, oh, it's only just starting there? Nah. I get so angry. Yeah. I get so angry. Yeah, we've got 2 more left and then this is done. But yeah, I hope that over the last couple of hours we have really hammered this home. Yeah, so all you need is my template. And like I said, I have a text to image template, a text to video template, and then an example, which is going to be, you know, working with my CyberSocietyv77. Now this system prompt here, that's the classic 1.3 video enhancer. Okay, so if you think that I'm focusing in strange places, it's probably because it's inherited from this. And really what we need is like a 14B system prompt, which is clean. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage people to stop thinking about generating prompt lists and instead generate a system prompt that converts whatever you type into a good prompt. So then we don't need to generate prompt lists. We don't need to iterate through lists. You see? We can just generate based on what we want. So I could say a woman holding a toaster. And if I'm in the Cyber Society mode, it's going to make her all in armor and the toaster's all cyberpunk, you know. It's going to do all of that. So it becomes a more comprehensive style transfer method. Just out the gate. And to be honest, there's no limit here, you know. Every LoRA, every checkpoint, well, I wouldn't say checkpoint actually, but every LoRA could have its own prompt enhancer. And then I would start with a base for, you know, for Flux, for WAN, for whatever it is you're generating on. That's how I would start. So it's just like how we used to make all the different video prompt generators. But instead of that, it's like a translator, I guess. It makes your prompt detailed, smoother. Yeah. So then no matter what you type, it'll assist you with applying that LoRA style. And then this is the other reason why I've been trying to be like, look, this is how you do it. So that then it's like, you don't need mine. You know, you can take your template and go away and just make your own. You see what I mean? Because to be honest, you're going to need more. Like, you've seen me tonight. I've been like, oh, let's do a different thing. Let's do a different thing. And it's all just making a different system prompt and then putting things into it and having it come out. And it all works beautifully. So that was the establishing shot system. Okay, and look at that. Look at that for an establishing shot. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't know why we've got a Stargate in the background, but, you know. It looks like there's a bit of Cyber Society creeping in here. I'm not sure. It might be that, you know, because I have been making Cyber Society enhancers all night, it might be that I've accidentally evolved one of those. Yeah, I think I might have accidentally evolved one of those. Do you know what? Let's find out if I'm right. Oh, wait, that's not what I thought it was. Oh, wait, it is, yeah. It is what I thought it was. Okay, turn that off as well. Turn that off as well. Woman is putting an ugly face. Let's go with, I can't remember his name. Sucks to be me. Can't remember the name. Fontaine. There it is. Put that in there, please. Close that. Steve Fontaine. And then, what are we doing here? Chirona? Oh boy. Doing silly things. But yeah, like I said, it's applying the character and it's also doing stuff. Look, see? Cyber Society. Cyber Society. You know, obviously the gate. So it's like, I don't know what happened, but I think I accidentally merged one of my enhancers just in the process of me like showing you all these different things. Maybe when I like downloaded something and just copied it in, I think I did that halfway through. So I probably like mixed them. So what we've done is we've turned it on. Look. So just turn Cyber Society on and blend the two. There's no trigger. Whoops. There's no trigger for Cyber Society. So it's just going to be in, you know, potentially in the enhancer, I think is what's happened there. How are we doing? Are we choking it out here? What's going on? Oh, it's going to do the boring one first. Okay. Can't believe I've eaten all my Jaffa cakes. Dragon Diffusion says the US law has a thing called FISA. Essentially, every American tech has to open its books, server, and hardware to US oversight. Yeah, and I think you'll find the UK's got that too, but they call it something else. Because ISPs have to provide access to the government, and you know, all of the traffic is captured and archived. I think they got 10 years worth of the internet for 10 years on ice. I'm like, can you imagine how big the hard drive data center would be? We saved the internet for the last 10 years. I was like, okay. I guess it's something to do, right? People always wonder, where does all your money go? Well, they decided to save the entire internet for 10 years, going back 10 years, just in case it comes up. You know, because then it's like, oi, turn your toaster off. Hey, you, your heater's been on for too long. Also, we're saving the entire internet for the last 10 years. But don't worry about it, okay? It doesn't cost anything. Don't worry about it. How are we doing? So what do we got? We got a woman in a crash helmet for some reason. I don't recall asking for a woman in a crash. Oh, Steve Fontaine. I remember now. I remember it all. So, epic establishing shot, the profound archivist, the shadow-drenched ruins of a post-apocalyptic solar punk world. A figure emerges, a towering silhouette cloaked in obsidian armor, their face a fusion of human and beast. The lion's fierce gaze meets a dragon's serpentine jawline, etched with runes of dark arts and quantum lore. I think it's the one with the motorbike. Oh, wait. Why is it doing multiple lines? A protagonist riding a motorcycle. Okay, it's a little confused. Oh, that's not... Do you know what? It nailed it. See, I thought it was confused. It nailed it. We now have a combination of Chirona and... we've got a combination of Chirona, Cyber Society, and the whole lion. Yeah, because the prompt was trying to make a lion in a crash helmet. I don't know quite why it's just the lion's gone in this one, but probably because the... I don't know. Is it like still cooking? Is something still... What's it doing? There's no more... Everything's blocked off. What are you doing? Oh, it hasn't done this one yet. Okay. Okay. I was thinking, like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it hasn't done this one yet. Right. I mean, the funny thing about China copying things is that it's a sign of respect in Chinese culture to copy the best idea. So, like, if somebody copies your idea, it proves that you were the best. You had the best idea, because otherwise nobody else would want to use it. And they don't really have the same attitude as we do, where we're like, you're using my thing, pay. You know, they don't have that culturally. So it's like, it's the greatest... Say I design a door, and everyone in China starts using my type of door. That's like one of the greatest honors. Because they see it as you improved the nation, I guess. I don't know. You know? You did something everyone likes, and now... So that's like a form of respect. It's like a different... They've completely flipped it. Whereas over here, we're like, you stole my thing! That's biblical. Thou shalt not steal. And then it all goes a bit crazy, you know what I mean? But we pay with money, not blood. What's this here? Is that what we get? Is really that what we get? I think it's doing another generation. Yeah, so actually the helmet did match. Okay. It's not bad, though. Motorcycle dude with Cyber Society armor and a... I mean, I never thought I'd see the day when you had, like, Cyber Society with a lion face, because, you know, normally it's like, no, it must be an Asian chick or a robot, you know? It's very limited with what it could do, you know, in that regard. So let's see what we're going to get now. I think we did a new seed, didn't we? Or a different prompt? Different prompt. It's abstract as hell, do you know what I mean? So we've given it this. Well, these are both LoRA on, actually. I've disabled the LoRA off version for now. So yeah, we've got the normal prompt and the enhanced prompt. So this is what we actually gave it when using the thing. It's weird, you've got like elf ears and human ears. Very, very strange. And then this is what you get with the enhanced version. What's going on with this guy's chest? Nice button placement, dude. Oh no. I'm going to wear a really tight shirt and have buttons exactly over my nipples. That's the plan. Alright then. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so much for joining me tonight. It's been a blast. We've blown the lid off the LoRA training for image generation. And like I said, unparalleled levels of style transfer. And I tried to show you all the different customizable ways you can take it. It's more accessible than ever, because choose one. 1 million LLMs in the choose one. doesn't, you know, they all work great. We get some epic style transfer. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're getting images out of these models which I thought, you know, you previously wouldn't have been able to do. So give it a try. LLM based prompts on the GitHub. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. GMT. We went on for an extra hour tonight because this is actually a real big one. And so kudos to you guys for sticking through it, because like I say, I know it's going to be worthwhile, good information that will help you make kick-ass image quality in all your projects, no matter if it's Cyber Society or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Just use the tips. And I look forward to seeing your outputs in the Discord. See you next time, guys.